What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo! Woo! This week we are doing something a little different. This week, it's not your traditional nitpicks, you know, where we're gonna watch a movie with a fixed aspect ratio. And we're going to talk about it because
we're
that's the past.
A fast little nibble of something this week.
That's right. We want to talk about the future of entertainment. And to talk about it, and luckily it's back in the public consciousness because they had to release some sort of financial numbers or something, and it's a disaster. So
a nightmare, if you will.
Yeah.
A quick bite of
I'm trying to think,
the financial profits.
What would it even be? Yeah, they had a quick bite out of their... I mean, they have a tiny amount of subscribers still, in like the thousands. It's pretty amazing, according to one of these things that I read. But anyway. So, we're going to talk about this thing. It's this wonderful service, app, whatever. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We've talked about it for a while, but this really came to a head during our live stream a couple weeks ago. Do you guys remember how it came up? Because I cannot, but I remember it being a part of conversation. People were talking about just mentioning this. I don't remember why.
I think it was just because we were still in the middle of the multiple episodes where you unprompted brought up Quibi.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's good. It's great. Listen. It's something that I find fascinating, and I think it's, you know, I don't know if we'll forget about it forever or it will become like this really strange cautionary tale of, you know, so you're rich and you want to start a streaming service, but it's incredibly bizarre, and we're going to talk about it. So this week is the Quibi week. Now, what does that mean? You may be saying. And what does that mean? Could mean a bunch of different things. First of all, maybe you're wondering what Quibi is, because you've never heard of it. Second, maybe you're wondering what the word Quibi means, which we've kind of touched on. But then third, you're probably wondering, there's a lot to Quibi, right? It's full of Quibi content. So which Quibi content are you going to Quibi?
A lot of content.
That's right. Is it Quibi? Is Quibi's? Is it a plural? Is Quibi's the plural of Quibi? Or is the plural of Quibi also Quibi?
So I thought Quibi is a portmanteau for quick bite. So yes. I assume that the plural would be Quibbies, quick bites.
Actually, Quibi is the plural. The singular is Quibum.
That makes sense.
That's fair. So yeah, we're going to talk about a couple of specific Quibum, and they're going to be ones that as someone who's been like on this platform since launch, because I was so curious about it, and because when it launched, you had a 3-month free trial. I wanted to like see what was up. I've like kind of seen what's come and gone and what seems to be what Quibi is like proud of, and what is like because there's some stuff that's like original streaming content for them, and other stuff where it's like they have the news anchors and they like cut the news down a little bit. So like we're not doing that. We're gonna do their original content. But before we get to that, everybody, how are your weeks going? Besides the Quibi thing, how's everybody doing?
Not too bad over here. Same old, week in, week out. You know how we do.
I'm melting. I'm gonna die soon, probably.
Oh boy. Well,
wow. Okay, that's disarming.
Only
because of the heat. I hate being hot. It's bad, and I hate it.
Same. I'm a winter guy, kind of. Everybody's a spring, fall, but I'm definitely excited about them. And you know what? Summer's practically over anyway. We're flying through it.
If only that were true.
Speaking of practically over, but we have to talk about Quibi. Quibi is... Does anybody want to give... Okay. Oh, man. Let's see what I can find that's like the IMDb summary of Quibi.
The Wikipedia...
Yeah, that's not a bad
summary.
Idea. Oh, well, Vulture has something.
Or the About Us. Well, we don't know if we want their take on what it is. Like, Quibi is the greatest thing ever made.
That's the best place to go, but I just don't even know.
Right from the horse's bee.
Yeah. I think we have to talk. Well, okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Quibi. We're going to go through a couple of different shows. DJ, do you have the list of shows in front of you?
I do.
Okay. Can you explain what they are?
Okay, so you
or
want me to
like
just,
go through the list of ones that we're gonna cover, almost like Sports Center where they have like the list.
Okay, all right. Tonight on Mostly Nitpicking, we have Dummy, Game Show, Chrissy's Court, Home Movie Princess Bride, Punked, Life-Size Toys, Hello America, Elba vs. Block, Blackballed, and the 50 States of Horror.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. All right, cool. So those are the ones we're going to be talking about. We each... So the rules of this episode are...
We're already going to get sued by Quibi, DJ. Don't get us sued by ESPN, too.
Oh, listen, I am so ready for the Quibi fight that's about to fall on our heads, possibly, maybe not.
Listen,
I'm so ready.
I don't know that they have the money to spare on lawyers right now.
That's what I was going to say. Like, will we all be able to just use the brand name Quibi soon when the company defaults and it's not a thing anymore? I don't know how that works. I'm sure these people know, because this was started by Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman, who are just like, Disney CEOs and such, so I'm sure they have all the litigious stuff down.
Some other company will buy the naming rights at the estate sale for Quibi's Rotting Corpse, and then they'll sue everyone who uses it into oblivion, even though they have no intention of ever using it themselves.
That's probably what will happen. Should we do that? Should we buy Quibi at the death sale? I don't know how much money it's going to cost, but yeah, we should consider it. So here's what I found. I have a section of their website called Our Story.
Oh, boy.
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences.
Okay.
And now, so I want you guys to try to explain what Quibi is from the perspective of Quibi.
Okay.
So, like, do it with, marketing pizzazz.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll see who gets the closest. And then, so we're going to talk about Quibi, the history of this weird little app and stuff. Not really the history as much, but we'll talk about the history. But then we're going to spend a little bit of time on each episode, or each show, I guess?
Yeah, show.
Is that what it is? Yeah, we each watch one episode of the show or more, but the rule was we have to watch at least one of that thing. So, all right, DJ, you seem very excited. Let's
I do. Okay.
What do you think Quibi's story is?
All right. Here at Quibi, we are inspired by the stories people tell. Our mission is to tell these stories in a form that is consumable to the modern viewer.
You got like 2 more sentences.
Okay. We've done this by getting the best talent and the best storytellers to come onto our platform and tell unique and different stories on a platform like no other. This is how Quibi delivers the best content to its customers.
Okay. Diggins, what do you got?
One day, a group of old, out-of-touch billionaires got together, and they said, you know what I noticed about the youths today? They have no attention spans, and they're always on their dang phones. And then an idea came to them. What if we made an app that was on their dang phones and wasn't very long? And then they'd watch it for 6 minutes before they went to do their Vines and their and their Tumblrs and such. And then they put a bunch of money, gave it to a bunch of random strangers, and they made that happen. And that's how Quibi came to be. Innovation, marketplace. Quibi.
Okay, so DJ did better. Diggins, you had one of the words.
Innovation?
Phone.
I didn't even say...
No, I don't think he did.
Dang phones.
Yeah, Diggins hit on phone. DJ did not hit on phone. However, DJ got. And also Diggins mentioned the short time span of the episodes, which I also don't think DJ mentioned.
Oh, god damn.
However,
I think I said short. Whatever.
So what you're saying is my description was better.
The 6 minutes was kind of there. That's kind of what I think nailed it. However, DJ said unique, and he used this one word, storytelling, that comes up quite a few times. Not quite a few times, but it's very important for this sentences. So here's the story of Quibi. This is marketing speak, and like what they want us to know about Quibi. Okay. Got a few minutes? That's all you need to be entertained, informed, and inspired. Quibi presents fresh content from today's biggest stars, one quick bite at a time. Make any moment extraordinary with incredible storytelling delivered right to your phone. From all new original shows to must-see movies told in chapters, the next story will always be waiting. That's it.
God
that's Quibi.
damn. That's horrible.
Quick bites. Yeah, that was in there. So quick bites. Deliver your phone. That's important. Original shows, movies, big stars. In a few minutes, I would say that's like most of it.
Hey, remember before Quibi came out when there was like a million commercials about it that didn't explain what it was?
Yeah, I was trying. I didn't even look, but remember, I'm pretty sure they had one during the Super Bowl.
100%.
Yep, they did.
I want to kind of watch it and see. It's like a bank heist. Okay, so it's a fake bank heist, and then the guys get out of the bank, and then the guy that's doing their getaway driving is Quibiing. He's distracted by Quibi, watching Chance the Rapper do Punked. And then the bank robbers start watching Quibi, except for a couple who scram. So that was their Super Bowl ad?
Brilliant.
It's just
tour de force.
My main point in bringing this up is, boy, you shouldn't really see Quibi commercials anymore now, do you?
No, you don't. And you also don't see any advertisement, any free marketing for Quibi, because Quibi made sure of that. So it's of gone, it's like gone into hiding, this strange little app. But guys, we got to talk about Quibi.
Must we?
Yeah. So I've been on Quibi for a while. You guys had just joined the other day. You just became Quibites, or something. What are you guys' first impressions on Quibi?
Terrible is not a strong enough way to describe how bad it is.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it's awful.
You think it's awful? I don't think it's awful. Why do you think it's awful? And you're not wrong necessarily, but I'm interested. What do you think is awful about it?
I think all of the content's a tire fire.
Oh, okay.
I think that... Okay, so let me go through all the things. I'm going to rant a little bit here. I think all of the content is a tire fire. I think that it's insane that you have to watch it on your phone. Like, I wanted to eat a sandwich while I watched McQuibby, but I couldn't because fucking you're not allowed to. Your hands are with your phone. Like, my hands
Hold
are
on
occupied.
a second.
What?
DJ, do you eat your sandwiches off of your phone like a little plate? Is your sandwich so messy you have to put it on your phone to eat it? Can you not rest your phone on some surface?
But that's like suboptimal. Like I want to be like watching this, like it's like me and on my big, on my big TV, it's like okay, it's there and I'm watching it. But I'm gonna put my phone on like a little stand and then it's like, oh, I guess I'm watching Quibi. Like get out of here.
I love that Jeffrey Katzenberg didn't think of this.
Plus,
or like that this is one of the first problems that's brought up is what if someone is trying to eat a sandwich and watch Quibi?
Plus, I'm a
focus
dang millennial. I can't pay attention to anything. I want to look up stuff on the internet on my phone while I'm watching. And if Quibi's on my phone, then I can't look up stuff on the internet on my phone while I'm watching it.
Like, that seems like an argument I would understand in a focus group. The sandwich thing seems like the argument. I don't know if either of you guys have watched the sketch show, I Think You Should Leave, with Tim Robinson. It's very funny. And there's this one thing that kind of made it out of it, at, like one sketch, and it's a focus group where
you want to make a car with a steering wheel that doesn't fly out of your hands.
A steering wheel that doesn't fly off the car. Yeah, it's like this very, very fun. I don't even know what this guy's deal is at all. But apparently he just showed up on set. I think the way I heard Tim Robinson talk about it in the in an interview, and I think he said that guy was an extra for something else. And then they were like, this guy's amazing. He'll be fun for some other sketch. And it's just this guy who's coming in with the craziest ideas for what's wrong with the car. And I can really see, like, everybody being like, okay, so what didn't you love about Quibi? I couldn't use my phone with it. It couldn't put it on my TV. The sandwich. I could not eat my sandwich. I'm sorry? Need a phone for sandwich. Okay. Put it on the thing. It's a good idea. All right.
Listen.
And I know what you guys are thinking. What accent is that? I'm not sure. I don't know what the real guys' was, and I'm not sure what mine is either. Is it Italian? That's kind of what I'm going for. Just
I don't-
Stromboli.
I don't think my quibble with Quibi is ridiculous.
Ah!
All right.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I think it's just fun. I never even thought of that. By the way,
Is it too niche?
I believe you can Chromecast it now. I think they changed that.
And it's going to be on Apple TV too.
There we go.
I think
The sequel to Apple TV.
or no, like not the service Apple TV, like your Apple TV, like the device. You know what I'm talking
Yes.
about?
Now, Diggins was making a joke that you said Apple TV as well.
Right.
With
oh.
Ha, got him.
Yeah.
And,
get
uh,
right to me.
Zing!
So, all right, DJ, you can't eat a sandwich. No, a sandwich with the Quibi.
It's not a bad. Like, listen, man. How if you? All right, riddle me this, gentlemen.
Yeah.
If you wanted to eat a sandwich while watching Quibi, how the fuck would you do it?
I'd use my other hand, DJ. I have two of them.
This a big sandwich. What are you going to do with the sandwich?
You expect me to hold my phone in one hand and eat my messy Quibi and the sandwich are both two-handed.
What kind of sandwich was it? What kind of sandwich was it?
It was a ham and cheese sandwich with
How
mustard.
messy is a ham and cheese
With
sandwich?
mustard, and I may have gone a little heavy on the mustard. All right, sue me.
DJ, do you know what I'm talking about with this, the focus group sketch? Because you gotta watch it after this. It's so funny.
You will definitely be hearing from Quibi's lawyers, though. So,
I'm just saying, I cannot envision this scenario where I'm watching Quibi and eating a sandwich.
which is how I judge
sorry.
all streaming platforms. If I wouldn't watch a sandwich during it, garbage. That's why I hate Shudder.
Oh my god. Wait a second. Hold on. So when you're eating a sandwich, you use two hands for the sandwich?
Most of the time, yeah.
Two hands like a cartoon character? Like you pick it up with both
Yeah,
hands?
wait, do you make like Scooby-Doo gigantic sandwiches that you need to smush down with both your hands before you can shove them all in the entire thing in your mouth at once?
Do most people not use two hands to eat a sandwich? Are
That's
you guys
fun.
like gross savages?
DJ, do you know aware that the advent of the sandwich was that literally a person wanted a thing he could eat with one hand?
So he could use Quibi with the other.
I don't know. This seems a bit suspect to me.
It's a ham and a cheese, a sandwich. It's too messy.
You're kind of going Tommy Wiseau, I think.
I know. Again, I'm not sure where this guy's supposed to be from in the sketch, to be fair. Okay, so DJ, you make a sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you put it on a plate. It seems like it's
yes.
kind of a messy sandwich. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you sit down. Do you cut the sandwich in half?
No, I do not cut it in half. No.
Huh. Okay. And then you just go from one side and just start eating the sandwich. Do you put the sandwich down at all?
Yeah, I'll put it down. You know, if I need a napkin to wipe my face, if I want to take a drink from whatever drink I am consuming, it's very good.
That is a good idea to drink out of a drink if you're trying to eat a
To drink a
sandwich.
drinkable liquid
Yeah.
of some kind.
So you've never okay, so if you want to watch something on your phone, how do you watch it on your phone? You're always holding it?
I don't watch a lot of stuff on my phone, but yeah, I'm like holding it or
You
whatever.
lay it down on something, and then look at it like it's a little TV.
But I need to like prop it up. I'm not gonna stare like down onto it like aerial view style. That's weird, right?
But you lean it on the glass or something else, something in the room, salt shaker. I don't know. There's so many things right now on my table that I can lean the phone on very comfortably, and also I have a whatchamacallit. I have a pop socket, so I use that for that. But even if I didn't, I'm pretty sure I could still lean it on any of these things that I'm leaning it on now, and then enjoy the Quibi. And the great thing about Quibi is you can do it whatever mode you want. Portrait, landscape.
Yeah, you could do it in the good one or the bad one.
Well, unless you're watching The Princess Bride, yeah, like we were saying. Okay, so then you finish with your sandwich, DJ.
Yeah.
You resume your life. Mm-hmm. Is this only sandwiches, or is this all food?
I mean, if I'm eating yogurt, absolutely a two-handed activity. There's no way about that.
Okay.
Soup, Jeez, there's just so many.
You eat soup one hand holding the bowl up to your hand or your face, and then the other hand doing little scoops with the spoon.
You eat it like an anime character eats rice, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You
Just
just basically have it like right up with your face, and you're just constantly shoveling it in your mouth with the spoon.
Do you expect me to hold the phone up to my face while I'm eating soup? I gotta look at the soup. I'm missing the Quibi. I can't. There's too much.
DJ, if only you could take quick bites of your sandwich. Then, in between the quick bites, you could enjoy a Quibi, or Quibum. One Quibum.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so besides the sandwich thing, what other problems do you have with Quibi?
I mean, do you need another problem, Nando? This sandwich thing is huge.
I mean, it seems like this is a problem with the phone in general. Just the mere concept of using your phone to watch something, DJ would never be on board with.
No, I'm not. Well, no, like if I'm not eating, but I often eat while I'm watching TV.
I often eat TVs.
Have you not heard of the TV dinner, Nando?
Damn.
Yes.
You at one time in your life, and maybe still are. I'm not sure. I haven't boarded with you in a while, but you were a great consumer of the television dinner.
I loved a nice TV dinner,
How would you television dinner while Quibiing?
That's a good question. I mean, the great thing about the Quibi is you do it while the TV dinner is like microwaving or whatever, and then you're done. Now, for me, when I'm sitting down, and this is, I think, a question now, I guess maybe we'll get into this one before we actually talk about Quibi's failures. I mean, this will probably, beget more failures. How did you watch? What were you doing when you watched Quibi? Like,
I was sitting on the couch just watching.
So you absorbed it like you would absorb any media at all.
Yeah.
Interesting. Diggins, what about you? When did you Quibi?
I was laying in bed.
Yeah, I did a lot of that on the toilet, not going to lie. A lot of Quibiing happened there. Those were the big two. Sometimes waiting for stuff like things that were cooking that I had to be at the kitchen for. I'd tilt the phone and just watch a Quibi or whatnot.
Yeah, I don't think I absorbed Quibi how it was intended to be absorbed. I'm pretty sure I missed that one.
I'm not sure it's possible to absorb Quibi the way it was intended to be absorbed.
That's true, too. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, DJ, what are your other issues with Quibi?
All right, so just one last one. I think for some of the things, the quick bite nature of it being like 6 minutes, specifically for the longer form stuff, doesn't work. So, like, I'll use Blackballed, the documentary, which I was, like, kind of interested in. I'm like, oh, this might be good. But, like, it does the standard documentary style of, like, doing... picking a specific topic per each episode. But the problem is, because the episodes are only 6 minutes, it's like you don't have enough time to go too deeply into the single topic, and everything that this documentary is telling me, I have already known. So I'm like,
Sure.
oh, this isn't good. So yeah, I didn't love that.
All right. Dickens, what were your thoughts on Quibi?
So, Quibi's bizarre in that I don't know who it's for, because of all the things you've already mentioned about millennials and their dang phones. Mm-hmm. But I think a much greater problem that it had is that all of its content is bad.
Yeah.
Not
all.
I wouldn't say all.
99%.
Okay, not all of it, but I didn't enjoy most of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's a toughie. I actually have to look now and be like, what did I think of their content? But I understand the thought.
I also agree with DJ's last point there, where it's like, some of the stuff works in 6 minutes, but a lot of it doesn't. And you're basically just making a normal thing and just letting me watch it 6 minutes at a time. And I don't want to do that. I just want to watch it.
That's a great point.
Just let me watch the show. Don't make me watch it 6 minutes at a time. Like, that's not how attention spans work. I know that's what you think the dang millennials want with their phones and their Tumblrs and their TikToks, but it's not. I promise you.
Yeah, because I found myself in the middle of like a boring episode of Christie's Court being like, how much is left? Oh, 3 minutes? I'm only halfway through. Fuck this. Skip 10 seconds at a time. Like,
yeah, if it's bad, then it drags on anyway. And if it's good, I don't want to interrupt the flow because the episode ended.
Yeah. Just wait till you guys watch the full-length movie.
Oh, my God.
Man.
Because it's interesting. So, okay, let's talk more about... let's talk more about my problems with Quibi are all of the ones you mentioned. I think a lot of the content doesn't work with Quibi. Like it's like it doesn't like you were saying. I don't know what content would work with Quibi, but I'm pretty sure it's not this. And a couple of them are like you watch it and you're like, oh, that was fun. But then, yeah, I think a lot of it could be more like it seems like what they did is they tried to take a show and go this, but for Quibi. And I think that's the dumbest thing you could have possibly done with that. You know, you didn't have anybody brainstorming like, what's a thing? And that would work in 6 minutes. You just had like, we're going to do this recognizable brand or recognizable television show format. I didn't hate some of the content. I think was pretty trashy. Some of it was like, okay. My problem with a lot of the content on Quibi, and I think Golden Arm is the best example of this, I don't know what Quibi wants me to think of it. I don't know if Quibi wants me to think it's any good, or if Quibi's like, here's a fun little trashy thing for you, because of how bad, like how just, I don't know. It's like, there's no like defining, like I think personally, if it wasn't such a disaster when it came to all of the other parts of streaming service, and the way that HBO and whatever was dealing with it, I think DC's streaming service is my favorite streaming service because it's like, what's it for? It's for these things, and you read comics and you watch the DC shows, and we'll make new DC shows. Whereas with this one, it's like, there is no Quibi content type besides just short, which is it's almost like the same thing as if there was a Netflix competitor, but all of its shows started with the letter B. You know, like it's a very arbitrary distinction for a show, and also then you would have to make some shows start with B anyway, and you'd be like, I don't think this person was the best person to be a judge, but I guess you needed to get, you know, Scott Bakula, yeah, because his name starts with B. I think as an application goes, I think the app itself is fine. I think it's crazy that you get commercials, even though it's, you know, like you still have to pay for it. But that's just like a thing we get these days.
Pay for the uncommercial tier, Nando.
They had to put in commercials because nobody is paying for Quibi.
Well, so then that's my big question, and I've been kind of thinking about this, having watched a bunch of Quibis. If it was full of commercials but free, would that work?
Full of commercials, but
no,
free.
Because the content is so short. You can't you can't stuff it with commercials.
But you could put like a let's say the commercial is a 30-second commercial between Quibis instead of like, because the commercials that I saw at least were like 6 seconds long. But like if you watch 6 minutes of television, you're watching at least 30 minutes of commercials after that. So if you watched a 30-minute ad for something, is that an app that people would watch? I don't know.
I mean, it would depend on the content.
I
think so many streaming services just miss, like, the best way to get people to sign up for your streaming service is to have things people want to watch. It's not about gimmicks or, like, what you're doing that's different from everyone else. People don't sign up for Netflix because of the special things that Netflix has done on their website. They sign up for Netflix because they want to watch the shit Netflix has. Like, that's it.
Actually,
end of story.
That's a great point. So to follow up on that point, Diggins. So Disney Plus got a fuck ton of subscribers from Hamilton.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. They put Hamilton on there, and then a balls crazy amount of people signed up because they wanted to see Hamilton. Why didn't Quibi do that? Why didn't Quibi pay, because they paid so much money for all this bullshit, why didn't they pay for Hamilton?
Well, Hamilton is slightly longer than 6 minutes.
Well, every song, right? It's oh, here's another quibble with Quibi, by the way. If you're let's say the documentary, right? They release like an episode a day, I think is how they do it. So like let's say Hamilton, you would have had to see all of Hamilton in like 20 days because they don't drop it all at once. They drop a single episode a day, and that seems like a terrible way to do your content.
I mean, like even if you did that, you'd have to watch. So you'd watch 20 Days of Hamilton, but there's no, at least as far as I've seen, and I watched the movie on Quibi, the Dangerous Game movie. So I feel like if this was an option, it would have been. You can't watch it all at once. You have to watch it in like a playlist of the 12 or 13 episodes
Yeah.
with commercials in between. So, like, it would still be the worst. Even if they just put it in, it would still be the worst way to watch Hamilton.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. But, like...
my point is, like, why not go for that? Like what Diggins was
Good
saying.
question.
Like, people are just on there for the shit you want to watch. Like, okay, I guess they're like, well, we got Reno 911, we got Punk'd, but, you know, get something that, like, people actually want to see.
The show everyone was clamoring for, Punk'd.
And Reno 911. That's such a funny read the room moment.
Reno 911 is
Oh
at
my
least
God.
a show that people have fond memories of and
Oh,
thought
yeah.
was funny. Like, people watched and liked Punk'd, I'm sure. But it was anyone like, man, I really miss Punk'd.
I definitely
Chance
don't.
the Rapper. hit
Apparently
him. He
Chance
was like,
the Rapper, yeah.
Yeah.
I miss it so much. I just want to host it, please.
I think the Punk'd maybe might be one of the best things for this format. I think Punk'd
Yes.
makes the most sense out of almost anything on this network.
I think the reality content in general makes the most sense for it because reality content already has either multiple iterations of the same thing over and over again or tons of bullshit to make it
Yeah.
last half an hour to an hour.
Yes.
So, like, we're just getting what these things always were in the first place, but with less bullshit. But, like,
Yeah.
I still don't enjoy watching them because I just
Having
don't
watched-
enjoy reality shows generally.
I think I watched Punk when it was out, and like in like, you know, the Ashton Kutcher days. I'm pretty sure there would be 3 Punk'd scenarios per episode, which means each one of them was probably about 6 or 7 minutes long. By the way, we keep saying 6 minutes. I'm pretty sure the rules are like between 6 and 10 or something. So like I think you
it's
can,
like 5 and 10. I definitely saw something that was only 5 minutes.
but yeah. So then you can like do a whole take a Punk'd and just put it on, and you're like, yeah, it's probably about as much as I was watching the original Punk'd. Is there a clamoring, you know, like you're saying, do people want Punk'd? And you're like, I don't know, maybe, but also it's just a weird. It does feel like I don't know. There's some of them, some shows I think make more sense to me than others from a marketing perspective, and we'll get to Punk'd, but I think it's the one that makes the most sense. Okay, other Quibi stuff. I don't know, it's weird. How much does it cost if you were to buy it? It's a lot of money.
It's $5 a month with the ads, or I think 7 or 8 with no ads.
Yeesh.
Right?
$5 a month. That's a lot for this.
And what's insane is you're not getting that much stuff, it feels like. So, as an example, the Hello America show. Like, I liked that in general. You know,
Yeah, it was fun.
give me
fine.
your silly political whatever show. But the problem is that it's twice a week for 6 minutes each. That's not enough for anything
Yeah.
in that realm. So what the fuck am I paying for? These god-awful movies that you, like, just gave Christoph Waltz an insane amount of money to do? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the next movie they're doing?
No.
It's Kevin Hart.
It's Money
Doing-
Plane.
Yeah, I wish it was Money Plane. It's a Die Hard. It's called Die Hard. It's not Die Hard with Kevin Hart.
Oh, I have
but-
seen ads for this.
That's a Quibi movie.
Oh, boy.
So, like, another thing, like, fucking, we're gonna get John Travolta, Hollywood, you know,
It Man.
Kingmaker. Yeah, everything he touches turns to gold. And it's weird because that movie, like, I almost having seen the Dangerous Game thing, I don't love it as a Quibi format, like, but the way it's formatted, I
Horrible.
kind of get what they're going for, because it ends on cliffhangers and shit, and it almost feels like we're watching a TV show. But with this, I'm like, this just seems like a movie they're gonna have to cut into arbitrary time. It's like, that's gonna be really weird. But like, that seems like, but that's also not sustainable. You wouldn't pay that for one of those every 2 or 3 months, you know?
I feel like the only way the Quibi model would work from a sense of, like, would I actually pay for it? And there would be no way to make money this way unless they did a lot of ad buys that people did for them. And a lot of subscribers would be like $5 a quarter. Like, I would pay on a quarterly basis for Quibi.
So you pay $20 a year for Quibi.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I figure I would get, like, a documentary or something that would be like, okay, I guess this is... You know what they need? You know how, like, Apple TV did the morning show, and that was their, like, House of Cards, and it's like edgy and very relevant with like the Me Too era. Like they need something like that.
I think they thought they had something like that, and it wasn't. None of them were that. I think they thought they had quite a few of those.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think that's like, I mean, and that's, even if you're a streaming service that's been around for a while, there's usually something that starts it that you're like, oh, okay, that's their kind of successful prestige whatever show. But yeah, I think that would have helped, I guess. I mean, if anything, I'd say Reno 911, if there was something that was going to get me to resubscribe, I'd be like, that was fun enough. Like I finished that. I watched all 12 Quibbies of that, and it was entertaining.
Wow.
I know, but it was like, I liked Reno 911 back in the day, and it's just as funny as it used to be. So like that, but yeah, I think they'd need to come up with another way to like make it free, or it would have to be something that you could watch on other platforms like Twitter or something, where like, I don't know how it would work, but something like that.
Well, the fact that they don't let you share any of the content in an era where that's the biggest thing, it's crazy.
That ad is an insane thing, and it's terrible. And I mean, I think the name is just terrible. If you had to rename this ad, do you know what any idea what you'd call it? Because I feel like they should have definitely, I mean, they can't, but would have been a way to do it. Like, just come up with a different name.
Do like I'm thinking of like a one-syllable thing, because everything's so short. Like,
right.
Quib.
It's like, quip.
Quip. Yeah, that's not bad.
Or like whiff. I'm going to get a whiff of something real quick.
That sounds horrible.
Whiff.
I hate that.
I like it. I'm with you, DJ. I want my whiffs.
Might as well
Let's
just
watch
call
a
it,
whiff.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, you want to check out that new app, Moist?
I like whiff, too, because it's also a word meaning, like, screw up, you know? Like, you whiff something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Really whiffed on this one, boys.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some of these individual Quibi shows.
Okay.
What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with good one or bad one?
Let's give them some credit and start with a good one. We'll
All right.
extend that much to fucking Quibi.
And
Who's
now
got
we'll
one they
see
like?
how badly
see.
we disagree on this stuff.
Let's see. What's one we like? Anybody got a suggestion?
I liked Hello America. I'm willing to
Okay.
start there.
Yeah, that was fun. So Hello America is anybody aware of this guy pre this?
No, not at all.
Me neither. I think he says it in this most recent episode, but it's he's like one of those guys that shows up on your British panel shows and stuff.
With Boris Johnson's dad.
Yeah. And he does the guy's name is Nish Kumar, and he's making what I think he described in like a trailer for this at some point as like the Daily Show mixed with Last Week Tonight, or
okay.
no, it's Last Week Tonight mixed with
Daily.
no, whatever, Hassan Minaj.
Patriot Act.
Yeah, Patriot Act, and then he's like, and that's racist. That's the joke of it, I guess, is because he's probably, I guess, maybe both Indian and English. And he's like, but anyway, it's one of those, and it's like him being like, this is a funny thing that the whole show, that everyone did. This is the new thing that we're laughing at is all the world leaders have coronavirus. Would you watch this show if it was on YouTube for free?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I might catch it once in a while.
I think it'd be the kind of thing that you would share with someone when there's something specifically funny. If it was focused on like, if it was like John Oliver or Hassan Minaj, where it's like, here's a deep dive about Bolsonaro and why he's crazy, then I think that's where I think a show like this would really take off. Obviously, you can't do that on Quibi because it's all on Quibi, and it
This is going to come up a lot, where it's like, this could be good if it wasn't hamstrung by Quibi.
Yeah, DJ,
true.
Can you pitch this one? What's the idea behind this show?
So it's basically like there's this British funny man, right? He's British Indian.
In Britain, they don't call them funny men; they call them a laughy ha-ha guys.
Oh, laughy ha-ha guys. Thank you, Diggins. So there's a laughy ha-ha guy, and he very succinctly, as the Quibi goes, brings you not even the news. He like picks like one thing that happened to talk about and makes a joke about it, and then moves on to the next one. And there's only been 2 episodes, so the first one was just the intro episode. and then the other one was like about strongmen, and so there's kind of a theme, but it's just like topic joke, and maybe I have the small brain of a person who eats a sandwich with two hands and can't do anything else, but that content worked well for me, and it was funny, so that's why I liked it, and I like those shows in general. So yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, Hello America was pretty fun. It's the content that I think would work. It's also right up there with Punk'd, which we'll get to. The content that I think works pretty well in an app like Quibi, where, you know,
Right.
you'd open it up. It's a Friday. Oh, cool. I get to watch 6 minutes of this while I'm brushing my teeth, and then you're done. You know, like that's a pretty reasonable amount of time for one of these kinds of shows. And I feel like this would probably work for people that are like, okay, I enjoy the Trevor Noah one, but I don't quite, I don't love it. Maybe just don't love him, but I like the other two. I like John Oliver and Hasan Minhaj, but they're just too long. So here's a shorter one. Like that's a pitch I think I could see going through Hollywood and like making it up the ladder. Is there anything you would change about this one?
I mean, make it longer.
I would not have it on Quibi.
Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly,
I
not
mean-
have it on Quibi.
I think it's fine. I didn't like love it. I didn't think it was that funny. It was funny enough in like a that's amusing kind of way.
Yeah.
But it's just 6 minutes because it's trying to cover a few different topics, like DJ said. In 6 minutes, it just feels very shallow. So like it's hard to get particularly invested in it. I don't even feel like informed by it because it's so short. It's just, do I want to hear a couple of quick jokes about the news, which is a defensible, format. It's fine. I don't think this show is bad. It's not anything I'm going to feel compelled to go back to. It's the kind of thing where it's like, if you're already invested in Quibi, you'll be like, I'll check this out. This guy's funny.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point, Diggins, that I didn't touch on, is that I didn't realize this until you said it, but a huge barrier to that show is you need to already know the news. Because he's not telling you the news. He's like joking. Like, if you didn't know about Trump's Mount Rushmore speech, his jokes probably wouldn't land. But, like, it's not his fault. He doesn't have time to explain the news and then tell a fucking joke about it.
Well,
It's just
do you think
no time.
I think with this one, I think out of all of them, this one, by that logic, would have kind of the most potential. Because I feel like it takes, usually with any of these, like, Daily Showy kind of things, it takes a while for them to kind of find their groove. And I feel like eventually he could be like, okay, I'm just going to do an episode about this one small thing and, make fun of it really quickly. And now you get a little bit of it. Because this one also can't be expensive to produce.
No, God, no.
Right? Like, why are there only 2 of these a week?
That's a great question.
If anything, it should be weekly, like every weekday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Take off the weekends. I think I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
I will also say, totally not their fault, so I'm not going to blame them for it, but the lack of an audience makes it feel a little weird.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it, weirdly enough.
I kind of have too. I think the nightly news people, like your Trevor Noahs and whatever, have figured the format out a little bit. Where like
Right.
Trevor Noah does, because I'll watch him every day. Obviously, I'll watch Hasan Minhaj and John Oliver when they're on, and I don't want to watch like Seth Meyers or any of those guys. But I know some of them have like adapted well, where they edit quickly and it kind of feels more like a YouTube video, which is what you do when you don't have an audience, I guess. So like this guy seems to be pretty heavy on that kind of stuff, the editing tricks from the beginning, which is helpful, I guess. But yeah, this was interesting.
And I think the problem is that, to like what both of you were saying, like the shortness of it, it's not terribly interesting. So what happens as a side effect is that, like, I would not pay the Quibi subscription costs for this at all.
Yeah.
It just is not even remotely worth it. But yeah, if I could get it, like, why isn't this like a TikTok show? I know
Yeah.
TikToks are like only 20 seconds. Like,
It's
I
a
understand
minute,
that. I
but
mean,
yeah.
a minute, but like, fuck, man, like, you could do like his thing, like, on TikTok, right?
Well, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure people are. Like, I think
Okay.
if you're looking for, like, quick news on, I don't know what TikTok's version of it, but, like, YouTube has people doing this, and it has deep dives, it has
Yeah.
everything. And because this isn't very difficult to produce on a financial side, all you really need to have now is just like a funny script. And if you're a person that can come up with that, and you have a moderate budget and like a relatively either people that can work on the technical side of things, or you could do that yourself, then you can make this.
Right.
Which, like, okay, so would this work if it was someone else? Would it be if it was like Patton Oswalt or an American comedian we all like? Do you think that would be the draw? Is because that's how Quibi did everything else, was just celebrity plus thing.
That's true.
I wonder why they didn't do that with this.
I don't care about that, I think, is the problem.
Even if it was like Bill Burr, someone you enjoy.
The problem is, like, anyone who I would want to hear from, I just have like a different outlet for that.
Yes.
Like, I would just listen to Bill Burr's podcast, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's I say the other problem is that kind of content is just it's oversaturated in general on anything, like any streaming service or whatever.
Why on earth isn't there like some kind of like sports based show? Like, I know they had the documentary, but I'm thinking more of like a sports center. Like, honestly, if you could feed me
the problem is there's no sport.
I'm sure when like baseball starts up, they probably want to do a baseball one of these.
So there's international sports. There's still UFC. There's golf. There's tennis. Like, let's just say Quibi existed before the pandemic, right?
The dang millennials with their short attention spans and their dang phones aren't interested in your tennis or your golf, DJ.
My point is, like, if you could give me 6 minutes of like sports highlights, that would be amazing. I would fucking love that.
Or like esports, where the sport is 6 minutes long or something.
There is an esports show.
Oh, is there?
Oh,
I didn't notice
I think it's called Speedrun.
Oh, that's a good one. Or like that one makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking in terms of like if you could give me something that's like, this is 6 minutes of highlights from like today or whatever, like, here you go. Actually, you know why they can't do that? The rights are too expensive, and that would be impossible to get.
But then like if not Amazon, well, if one of them, if like Disney Plus had that, because they have their ESPN rights, like they could make this app for just Disney stuff and include ESPN like quick bites of whatever, and then that would work. I don't know if it'd be any good, but like that would be a pitch I would see in Hollywood. So they have Speedrun, they have something called Fight Like a Girl, they have ESPN The Replay. So there is this thing that you're describing, DJ, does seem to exist.
Oh, really? What is it called?
It's called ESPN The Replay. If you go all the way down on their browse section, you get to sports and gaming, and then you got to go all the way down, like scroll all the way to the right to find this. But it does exist.
So, hey, Quibi, it's hard to find your shit.
Yeah, that's
your fucking app.
Well, it's hard to find their stuff when they're promoting all the other stuff. Like they're promoting like all kinds of other shit.
All right. So wait, I gotta go all the way down to.
So go to browse all the way down to sports and gaming, and it's like Blackballed, that speedrun show, which is by Polygon apparently. Scroll over to the right.
ESPN The Replay.
Yep.
And what am I getting from here? Am I getting exactly what I wanted? Because maybe I lied. They're great.
Maybe maybe you're liking Quibi, DJ. Maybe you're a convert.
Oh man, no, this is exactly what I wanted. It's not just highlights. It's like reporters talking and stuff. Like this one's about it looks soccer. Yo, I think I found my show, guys.
We got Quibi. We got DJ on Quibi. And this, I mean, as long as the sandwich thing and this don't butt up against each other, it seems like this is a match made in heaven.
All right. DJ's a Quib head now.
I have to say though,
He's one a biter, as they say.
So I think there's literally only one episode of this show. Like I think it just
came out or the other day.
Yeah. And I will say, I could just listen to ESPN Daily and get the same shit. So, and that's a free podcast. So, just throwing that out there.
All right. That's enough for Hello America.
Yeah, sorry. Sidetracked.
Diggins, let's pick another one. You got one. Pick one that you want to talk about. Doesn't have to be good or bad, just anything.
One that I want to talk about. Well, so we picked one we liked. Now let's pick the worst one. I want to talk about Elba versus Block.
Yeah, easily the worst one.
My God.
Pitch Elba versus Block to me, Diggins.
All right. So, what if...
Oh, you know what I should be doing? Here, I'm going to get a timer for 6 minutes. And we're going to start talking about the thing. We have 6 minutes to talk about it, okay? Okay. So, let me put 6 minutes on the clock. Ready, set, go.
All right. So, what if we took an actor and a professional NASCAR driver and made them do driving stunts, even though one of them knows how to do it and the other doesn't. But we're going to treat it as a serious competition. But also, the entire time, both people will be cracking jokes about how obviously one of them is going to win because one of them's a professional driver.
So, okay. Diggins, how do you think? So I have different theories on different shows because of how strange a production of this whole app is. How do you think this one came about?
I think they went to Idris Elba and were like, we'll give you unlimited money to do whatever you want. And he, thinking they were joking, was like, oh, what if I did a racing show with NASCAR man? And they were like, done, funded, here's $1 million. And he was like, what? And he was just left to have to organize it because they already approved it.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's just like, I like to drive, brother. And then they were like, okay. And then that guy showed up the next day at his house, and he was like, oh, they were serious then. And then they had to light a bunch of things on fire. So we watched the first episode of this. It is a race between this block fellow and Idris Elba through a fiery course, and the race car driver, surprise, surprise, does good job. And Idris Elba does bad job, even though he cheats.
Yeah, Idris Elba just literally doesn't even do it.
Yeah.
But we're still treating it as a serious competition where we give them scores, and it's not like a joke.
What do you think the best version of this is? Do you think, was there a part of you that was like, is Idris Elba secretly an amazing driver? Is that what this is going to be?
Yeah, I was like, is it going to turn out that he does stunt driving in his spare time, and that's going to be the joke? Is like, oh, actually, this is a real match. And no, the joke is that he's nowhere near as good at it as a professional driver, except it's not a joke.
Yeah. DJ, what'd you think of Block versus Elba, or Elba versus Block?
I thought this was the craziest thing. It reminded me of, do you guys remember from Rick and Morty, Interdimensional Cable? I think it's the second one. It's Man vs. Car. Where it's like, we pit a man versus a car. And it's like, won't the car always win? That's what this felt like. It's like, won't the NASCAR driver always win? Now, did you guys watch the second episode?
No. Did you?
I did.
What is it?
Now, it's pretty crazy. So this one, they just have to drive down a straight line, really quickly, at top speed. And it's whoever could go certain distance faster wins. Now, it's like the one thing that Idris Elba did. I think he broke a record or some shit like that. So he beat Block in that one, and it was 1v1. Because at the end of each episode, it's like Block 1, Elba 0. But at the end of episode 2, it was Block 1, Elba 1. And I thought about going more to see how it went, but maybe I don't want to speculate too much, but I wonder if it's going to be like a tit for tat thing. Like each episode, it's like, okay, we'll give Block 1, we'll give Elba 1, and Block and Elba.
There's basically two ways it goes. One is you do it as a competition and Block wins every time, or you incredibly rig it in Idris Elba's favor every once in a while so that he can actually compete. And then it's artificial.
There's a fun version of that, right? Where Elba goes first, does the track okay, if the first episode, for instance, where everything's on fire, he does the track okay in a rally car, and then he gives this guy a smart car, and the guy has to figure out, try to drive better than Idris Elba with the smart car or something.
Yeah,
that's
that would
the show.
That would be a concept.
Yeah. But it is so weird that they missed that part. I kept waiting for it, and even when he cheats at the end, and he's like, "Hey, brother, we got this cool car that it was on the lot the whole time, and it has a fancy thing," and whoa.
This is something I hate about reality shows, which is going to come up with all these reality shows, obviously fake, planned bits that they pretend are spontaneous. I hate it.
I agree. I think that bit does not work. Yeah. Do you think Idris Elba brings anything to this competition?
Not exactly.
I mean, Idris Elba is a charming man, but
unfortunately, he has to go against acting, not acting wise, but conversation wise, against a block of charisma.
Yeah,
in
against
Mr. Block.
If it were not literally his job, I would mean it derogatorily. A NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
In terms of charisma.
So do you think this would work better with a different celebrity?
No.
No,
I
the concept
think
is
so.
bad.
No, I know, but I think just this concept, I think
Like better, like relatively better. Oh god.
yeah, like I think you can make, and again, I'm going to throw him in as the example here. I think you could have Bill Burr drive these cars and be like, "This car's crazy, what?" And then also insulting the NASCAR driver or something, and then that's a show. Also, it's still in theory like the conceit of the show with the racing and the versing is still stupid, but I think it's weird because Idris Elba also doesn't bring anything to this. He's just like, "That's a good run, isn't it, bruv?" And then that's it.
I think if you go ahead, Dick.
So there was a reality show many, many years ago that I could sum up as they wanted to see who could pull a plane farther, an elephant or 40 midgets.
Yes, I remember this. Man versus Nature or Wild or
40
something.
dwarfs. Sorry.
Nah, they probably called it midgets when they did it. It was a
I'm
long
sure they
time
did.
ago.
But,
yeah.
I want to be respectful.
Sure. Also,
And
just
that's about the
wanna
level
butt in
that
here,
we're dealing with
6
here.
minutes.
Oh.
That was that amount of time. But, I
Okay.
mean, we can still, to finish your thought, but I just want to let you guys know we have hit the 6-minute mark.
And it's just that's about the level of the concept we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
You know what? I would be interested if it was like the kids from Stranger Things. If each episode, one of them went against Kenny Block, whatever his name is, that would.
Only if they're working together, one on the floor using the
Yeah.
pedals and one on the
Yeah.
steering wheel.
Because that would just be interesting to be like, oh man, like, let's see these children. Oh no, I'm sorry. This doesn't answer your question, but it was like Idris Elba versus the kids from Stranger Things. That might be more fun.
Oh, sure. That
remove-
just got their driving licenses and
Yeah,
stuff.
remove Mr. Block. I can't remember his first fucking name. I
it's
want to say
Ken.
like, is
Yeah.
it Ken? I was stuck on Ken. Alternatively, Will Ferrell as his character from Talladega Nights. That would be some shit.
Do you remember
yeah,
the
like-
name of his character from Talladega Nights?
Oh my god.
You must.
I'll give you a clue. It's in the name of the movie.
Oh, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if there was some character like that, I think Block might be the problem too. They're all the problem. Like, you can swap
It's all the
any
problem.
piece of this show out for something different and the show gets better. This is the worst version of this show you could possibly make.
Nope, there are worse. There are definitely worse.
Who?
If I
Oh,
put...
I mean, you could put, like, Jack the Ripper, but even that would be kind of interesting.
Who could I put in to make it worse? Who's a vacuum of charisma? We've talked about on the show before.
I mean, you guys think Paul Walker is. That's wrong.
Yeah,
Ken
well,
Block.
but he's... Oh my god, Vin Diesel! Vin Diesel versus Ken Block.
Oh, that would be great, and he would just think he's better.
That would be better, yeah. Put
At
that in the better
least-
category.
At least that would make sense because Vin Diesel is like in the car franchise. So like there's a reason he's doing it.
Well, technically, Idris Elba is in the car
but
franchise
he's not
too.
in the car
He's in the
franchise
one that
as a
has
car
no
boy.
cars. Yeah, he's not a car boy. He's a motorcycle boy.
He's a genetically enhanced super soldier.
Next Quibi. This one's mine. I'm going to talk about the one that I watched specifically for this that I had talked about before was Chrissy's Court. 6 minutes are on the clock.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I like this one a little bit more than the Block one, but this one I think the pitch is the opposite. I think they made a list of celebrities that are famous on Instagram and whatever and went, we need to make a court show. And they just called every single one down the line. First one said, yes, got it. And I think she said yes.
I will say, this wasn't my least favorite of all of the Quibbies, but it is the one it's the only one that managed to feel like it was too long.
Yes!
Oh my god. Oh.
And, nothing happens. The whole thing ends, and then so for people that don't know, it's basically like the People's Court, but with Chrissy Teigen, model / Instagram, Twitter celebrity, John Legend's wife, which, shouldn't define her, but it does come up quite a lot in the show, especially this episode. And I wonder, did you watch 2 of these, DJ?
I did.
Is he in the next one, too?
Nope.
Okay, so it was just for the
Got him
the
for
opening.
one. Yep.
Okay. And so this whole show hangs on Chrissy Teigen's natural charisma as someone settling petty disputes between neighbors and coworkers and whatever. The specific case we're talking about in this episode is a guy who bumped into a guy's stereo or something. I forget.
Okay,
Something
so
like that.
we can just agree that the plaintiff in this case, he's just racist, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of.
Because it's essentially like the dude comes up to him and asks him if he knows any rap songs, which is a bizarre thing to ask a man who looks like this guy does. I have to agree. But apparently the fact that this, I believe he's Latino man, comes up to him startled this lounge singer so much that he backed up and broke his own stereo.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. That's so funny. Yeah, that didn't even... But, I mean, it definitely did happen. Like,
yeah,
as far as we know.
He did hit the stereo, and I think it's funny, kind of, how the whole thing goes, and then he's like... The thing I think that's so weird about this episode, and excuse any weird noises, my cat just sat down on the table, is that the whole thing goes, this whole weird little dispute about who broke whose stereo or whatever, and then at the end, Chrissy's like... You bumped into the stereo, by the way. You don't have to pay him. Like, it was his fault. She kind of... It's almost funny how she understands the show is dumb at the very end. Like, acknowledges it. But, like, what does she think is fun about the show?
So, I was wondering... I was not sure if this was an actual court procedural where two people had some kind of dispute, or if it was a parody of a court procedural. I genuinely had a hard time figuring that out.
I think it's a real court procedural. Like, I don't know if the thing is real, but I think it's like a real enough case.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like other celebrities or her friends or whatever come up with like dumb arguments they have.
Yeah.
But it seems to be real, like, petty court cases.
Right,
but the dumbest ones.
She's not a judge, obviously, but she's also not like... Or like, she has no law background. She's also not like a comedian. She seems like a really weird choice for the show.
Well,
like,
and even in the intro, it's like, and she's not qualified one bit. Here we go. Like, the show's conceding that the show is dumb.
Right, but the show's not even like, and she's not qualified to host a legal show, but she's got charisma, so she can lead a show in general. Like, I don't think she's got that either. And I'm looking in the list here. There are plenty of celebrities who are, like, overeducated.
Sorry, you know what this is? This is that Arrested Development bit, mock trial with Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all this is.
Like, you could take Conan O'Brien and look at this list of, like, people that have lots and lots of, like, education. Give him a court show. It would probably be pretty funny just because he's good at it. Like, he's a comedian. Like, Louis Black is on this list. Whitney Cummings. Any of them who are like, I'm a smart comedian. John Hodgman. I'm going to do the court. And
John Hodgman has a podcast where he does this literal exact thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. So, yeah, they should have made that one instead. I mean, I think, and this is where I think part of the Quibi, I don't even know what you'd say, imperative came in. She has lots of followers on Instagram. And I think they were like, we want Instagram people to promote this for us.
The dang millennials love Chrissy Teigen, so they'll watch the Chrissy Teigen show.
It's not even the millennials. It's like your Gen Zs.
Yeah, who likes her?
No, the Gen Zs legit love Chrissy Teigen.
Well, you have to keep in mind, I'm an out-of-touch old rich man, so I just think everyone is the dang millennials.
Oh, great point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really weird. I don't like this one.
It's not good. It's not good.
I'd like to see any other comedian do this, but also I probably wouldn't watch this one. A comedian could roast these people and make it fun.
Yeah.
Or like someone like RuPaul or some shit. I don't know. Someone who's just like a better personality. Not that she has a bad personality, but is a, presenter
like
type person.
More suited for this medium.
Yeah.
You know who has a court procedural that, because I've become a connoisseur of daytime television working at home all the time, fucking Jerry Springer has a daytime court procedural. Sure. Judge Jerry. Like, Quibi should have just bought that from whatever, like, network owns that. Just, we'll buy Judge Jerry. We'll buy it. You got episodes in the backlog, we'll buy it.
If you want to cash in on the trend of people laughing at poor people, then you need to hire an expert.
That's exactly right.
Exactly, Diggins. Exactly the list.
Okay, next Quibi. What do you got, DJ? Give me a Quibi.
All right, so I guess we're working our way up the ladder now from like the really bad ones to the ones that are acceptable.
Sure.
I have to say this one because it's my least favorite of the ones remaining, and I do have a vendetta with this person. Dummy. Have to talk about Dummy.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, the Quibi 6-minute clock has begun.
Okay, so
what is Dummy?
Dummy is so, and there's gonna be some background to this, so I'm definitely gonna go over the 6 minutes. But so Dummy is a show where Anna Kendrick plays this writer's girlfriend. And it's like, he's like 50 and she's like a young up and coming writer. So it's one of those relationships. And, you know, they're just having sex all the time and everything's all crazy. And, you know, she's like one of those girlfriends who are like, oh, did you go to the strip club? No problem, bro. And she finds like a thing on his bed. She's like, what's this? And he's like, I have a sex doll. And then she's like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then she decides to confront the sex doll. And the sex doll is, like, basically sentient. Can't move or anything, but can have full-blown conversations. Knows everything that's going on. Yeah, that's this fucking show.
How many episodes of this one did you watch?
So, okay, I watched 2 full. And then I, like, skipped to bits of other ones so I could kind of get a feel. Because, okay, so... this is where I'm going to go into some background. At one point, they say, like, the boyfriend's name is Dan. And the girl goes, oh, I love Rick and Morty. And I'm like, Rick and Morty, Dan, can't be Dan Harmon. That's not Dan Harmon. Why would it be Dan Harmon? Later, it turns out that he is Dan Harmon. Because they say the full name, like, oh, you're dating Dan Harmon? And I'm like, wait, but that's not actually Dan Harmon. So he's playing Dan Harmon? And the Anna Kendrick's character's name's Cody, who is apparently Dan Harmon's current girlfriend. And
that's right.
The reason for this is because Dan Harmon's girlfriend wrote this show based off the experience of her finding a sex doll in finding out that her boyfriend Dan Harmon had a sex doll, and then wrote a show about that. So, woof. That's a lot to process.
Yeah, that's the story of this one. And yeah, Donald Logue, or whatever his name is, plays the Dan Harmon character, who people might know from the guy that gets hit by a train in the first Blade movie. I want to say there aren't too many other like famous people in it. It's really just those two and the doll. I don't know, is the voice of the doll the person, the real person?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping that's what that was. But the doll has a voice. It's just like a weirdly animated face, but it's a sex doll, so you're kind of supposed to think it's weird. But yeah. Diggins, what'd you think of this one?
I think it's pretty wild that DJ apparently likes this one less than some of the other ones left.
Wait, really?
I agree.
Really?
This is maybe my favorite.
What?
I finished this one, and it's pretty entertaining. Yeah.
I don't know that it was my favorite. It was all right. I will say it's the only one of these I watched where I was like, oh, this was actually written to be 6-minute episodes.
No, so it was and wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was adapted from a pilot script or movie or something that this person made. And
sure, but I mean, like, the product that we have as it exists, like...
Right.
Whatever it was originally, they rewrote it and reworked it to, like, actually work as, like, a 6-minute chunk of every episode. Where it's like, I'm not, like, watching a show or a movie that was cut into different parts. I'm actually watching a thing that was written to be a Quibi show. And I think that helps it a lot. You know, feel like I watch a Quibi episode of Dummy and I'm like, I just watched an episode of a show. Like, full stop. Yeah. I think that helps a lot. Anna Kendrick is, I know DJ loves her.
Yeah.
I'm not as high on her as DJ is. But I think she's pretty funny. She's pretty charming. So she is someone who I do feel can anchor a show like this. I do hate how the doll looks. I hate it. I hate when the doll talks and I have to look at it. It's bad.
So you watched how many? One of these?
I only watched one so far, but I actually might watch more. It's not bad.
Yeah, I want to say the doll's face kind of grows on you. Like you you get used to it. I agree. It does look extra weird in the first two.
You guys are out of your mind. That's crazy.
I thought this one was pretty funny. It's an interesting concept. I think it's executed
pretty well.
An
interesting
concept. It's like, I mean, compared to all the other ones, it's like compared to
what if Idris Elba and a NASCAR driver do cars? It's an amazing
What
concept.
if Chrissy Teigen told you that you shouldn't bump into speakers?
You're comparing different dog shit to just other things that aren't quite dog shit but still really bad.
Listen,
Well, I don't
DJ,
know.
we know because of how much you love Anna Kendrick, nothing she's ever in can really measure up against your love for her, which makes
my
everything
God.
else around her seem terrible. But if you look past that, if you can accept the diminished quality of everything else next to the shining star that is Anna Kendrick, I think you'll see that it's an okay show.
You're
Yeah,
all
I think
nightmares.
If this were a movie, I'd watch this movie and enjoy it. I think some of the comedy's pretty funny. Like it gets really heavy on like the crude, like
Yeah,
you know.
it's just like,
But
clean
that's
the
what it is.
bleep out of my bleep, you lady. Like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
we've always held back so much before. Now's the time
Yeah.
to start self-censoring.
But that's like the conceit of the show, so I'm willing to like be like, you know, this is the show they're trying to make, and maybe that part of it's not for me. But when you get past that, it's pretty funny. And it's an interesting, like, you know, look at how, you know, women are treated in relationships and how they react, like how they interact with each other. I don't know. I think it's clever.
It's a concept with potential.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there for all 6 minutes going, why this?
That's weird because I
It's
was
more than
I'm
I can
like,
say for many of these shows.
man, maybe it's my heavy Anna Kendrick bias that just like led me to this conclusion. I'm not sure.
I think so. Yeah, your heavy pro Anna Kendrick bias is definitely what's causing this.
Oh my
Also,
God.
I forgot to look, but the Quibi timer had run out at some point. The
Oh,
6
yeah, I'm
minutes.
sure,
I don't
I'm
know
sure.
when, but that's fine. So yeah, Dummy, I would say it's not my favorite because I realize I do have a favorite, and are we talking about Reno 911? Is that on the list? Because obviously that's my favorite.
It's
You
not.
did
But-
put that on the
Yeah,
list.
so that's
I
fine.
didn't
That
watch
one's
it.
Reno 911. It's great. There's another one in here that I like more than Dummy, but I would say Dummy's like maybe my second. Diggins, what do you
appalled.
want to talk about next? What's the next Quibi?
Well, I'm going to pick one that's definitely worse than Dummy, and I can't believe DJ thinks otherwise. We're going to talk about life-size toys.
Oh,
All
come
right.
on.
And the counter has begun. 6 minutes. What's this one?
So life-size toys is a bunch of people who do something.
It's the Nitro Circus. The Nitro Circus crowd.
That totally explains what they do to me. Now I no longer have any questions about what their whole biz is.
So Travis
Yeah,
Pastrana.
I don't
who's,
care. I don't
okay,
care.
Cool.
Go on.
They are like, what if we took toys and built big versions of them, except they're really not going to bear much resemblance at all to the toy, and it's just kind of an excuse to, I don't know, do some bullshit or whatever.
So Diggins, how many of these did you watch? One, I'm assuming.
Just the one, yeah.
DJ, how many of these did you watch?
I watched 2.
Me too. So I watched the first and second, which is Yo-Yo and like that
Rubber duck?
multicolored catch toy. No, it's Rubber Duck.
Oh,
I didn't see that.
you know
one.
what? I think I skipped to Rubber Duck because I'm like, I want to see the life-size version of this one. So
That one, I'm like, what is that even? It's just a big.
Not even
floating
life
duck.
size, just giant.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, I don't know why it's called life-size toys.
Yeah.
The toys are already life-size.
But okay. So these guys this is the Travis Pastrana crew, just as DJ explained. Did you ever watch Nitro Circus, Diggins? Are you aware of that?
I have never heard of that.
So I watched it. DJ, did you watch it? I'm assuming.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so DJ, sorry,
seems
DJ
like-
uses both of his hands to eat this sandwich. I watched Nitro Circus. People that don't know, it's like this show where these extreme sports guys and their friends who also do extreme sports, but I guess aren't as famous for it, would be like, all right, so we got a hill here. Let's try to ride a tricycle down it and fall and die.
So they're
It
like
was-
ShopRite generic version of Jackass.
Yes, they're more skilled when it comes to something. So they'll do
Yeah.
a cool flip, but it'll be on a tricycle.
yeah,
because
like-
Travis Pastrana is a professional something.
Motorcycle rider,
Yeah.
one of those. I would say that the big difference is, like, in theory, anyone could do Jackass. Like, I could get in a shopping cart and roll down a hill and crash into a car. I could do that. There's no way I could do the things the Nitro Circus guys do. Not in a million years.
But this is not that, because, this is that. I would say this is a mix of, like, the end of Nitro Circus and then the beginning of an episode of, like, Mythbusters, where it's like, we shouldn't have a catapult that shoots you this far, but we made it anyway. But they skip both of the fun parts of it, where there's no skill from the Nitro Circus people, and we don't see them make the thing that everybody's going to ride. So This one feels more short than any of the rest of them.
Yes.
DJ Diggins, what else did you feel about this one?
I definitely agree with you saying it's too short because, like, the charm of these kinds of shows typically is both seeing how they do it and also, like, seeing the camaraderie between the people doing it, getting to, like, know them as personalities. But because this is so short, we just see them say, like, this is what we're going to do. And then they skip to, we did it. Now we'll demonstrate it.
Yeah.
And also, like, we see, I think some of these people said, like, 3 sentences total in the entire episode. So, like, I have no idea who they are or what they're like. They're just a bunch of jackasses standing around watching a pretend yo-yo mechanically go up and down while it spins really fast.
By the way, speaking of Jackass, that kind of drove me crazy about the show. So one of the charming things about Jackass is, like, they do, like, a weird stunt, and, like, pretty much anyone's always game for it. Like, they might get, like, like, oh, God, why am I getting shot with a fucking paintball gun, 5 feet from my face? But they all do it. Like, in this one, none of them want to do it. And it's like, well, you cowards, why are you here? Like, they're all trying so hard not to do the stunt, and it's very unfun.
And they're all the same guy. It's like 3 of the same guy and girl, and she might as well be the same guy as well. And this Travis Pastrana fellow who always wants to do the thing. And yeah, it's a really strange dynamic. Also in the second one, Travis Pastrana pretty much dies. So if you want to watch that one, watch that one. They have to get an ambulance for him, and one character makes what I think is probably the single funny joke of the show, where they both have to do this, like, catapult launch thing onto one of those Velcro thingies that catches a ball, and I think it's the girl says, like, hey, if you do yours quick, you can hitch a ride with that same ambulance or something like that, which is pretty funny. But the other thing you don't see in this that I think you need in a show like this is, like, failure. You need to see them accidentally shoot someone 200 feet into the air instead of 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and there's none of that. There's none of the trial and error that makes Mythbusters fun. What is the rubber ducky one? What do they even make?
They legit just, it's like a big boat, but with, like, rubber ducky, like, facade. That's what it is.
Then what is it? Like, what do they do in it? Just stand and go,
they're in, like, the high-speed boat, and they're strapped in, and it's like, whoa!
Oh, okay. It's always a fast boat.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they just made a platform.
Oh, no.
They just made that ride at Sesame Place.
Yeah. Oh, God. This one is weird. I did not like this one at all. And I liked Nitro Circus when I was, like, younger, when I was on TV. I thought it was kind of fun. If this was Nitro Circus, I think it'd be fun to watch. But it's not.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny because they used to do this shit with toys. Like, they would take, like, a little tricycle. So they're doing a much worse, and like if you like, well, what if they did it with the toys that would be fun to do it with? It's like, well, they already did that. That was the first show. Who knows what this is?
I don't know why they just. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, 6 minutes, but final thought, DJ.
I don't know why they did it with, like, toys, like, things that are inherently fun. It would have been weird if, like, we took mundane items and decided to make them really fun and do crazy shit with them.
Like a what? Like a washing machine?
Yeah. What if, like, we made a big washing machine and we're just gonna roll inside it, like something like that? I feel like that would have been slightly better.
I think that's a show. Vacuum cleaner races or something. Yeah,
sure.
What's wrong with them? Okay, I got one. Here's mine. I want to do my what is without a doubt my favorite show, because I'm counting the movies kind of separately. I want to do 6 minutes on Game Show. I think that was pretty good. You didn't like it?
I don't know how to feel about it. So
I don't know.
I'm not a member of the gay community, or like
LGBTQIA.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. So, like, I wasn't sure. Like, there were things in there that made me laugh, but I'm like, is this pandering? But I have no idea if it's pandering, because I'm not the audience, so I just kind of had, like, a big old shrug about it.
I take something like that at its face, where it's like, this is a show. I mean, I doubt the audience for that show is homophobes. I'm sure homophobes would get something out of it, so then I assume the audience for that show must be people making the jokes must be authentically funny and not super mean to gay people. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Plus, they get celebrities on to, like, be the celebrities of the episodes that are, like, prominent gay voices. So you figure they'd probably be like, hey, this is stupid afterwards, or like something on Twitter. How many episodes of this did you guys watch?
I think 2.
I only watched one of everything.
Okay.
So.
DJ, which episode? Who were your hosts? Your like co-host guys? Did you get the one really funny one?
So it was Bo and Yang.
Okay.
And
Ilana Glazer.
Ilana Glazer, right? Yeah. And then the second one. Do you remember who the wise gay of that one was?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I don't think it was this person, but do you know who shows up? I want to say in episode 3 or 4 as the wise gay. Is John Lovett, frequent Quibi basher on Pod Save America, was on a Quibi show.
I'll have to go back and watch that shit.
It's pretty. I mean, he doesn't do very much, but I'm like, what the fuck? You know what Quibi is? Was this all you just being like, I was on a show, apparently it was a Quibi show? But I could see you being on these shows and just being like, yeah, what is this, gonna go on YouTube or something? All right, fine, hi, bye. Oh, yeah, no, that's a funny stunt. Okay, see ya. Check, please.
For what it's worth, I do think that this show fell into the category of too short. I think this fell
I think so.
Nando, have you forgotten life's most important maxim?
What is that?
I'll take any motherfucker's money if they're giving it away.
Absolutely, and I respect the hell out of it. And he is, and you know what? I think there's a part of him that knows it, and a part of him that's like, no one's gonna watch this anyway, so might as well both take money from him and make fun of it as if I don't know what it is. Okay, so the purpose of this game show, for people that don't know, is it's like these two guys who I don't know, I assume they're comedians or something, that I would assume are gay or whatever, are hosting a game show played by straight men about being gay and testing their like how much they could be part of like how they can like what is it pass as gay or what's the like they could be the honorary queen for a day or something.
They're the queen of straights and they get to be titled gay as fuck.
Honorarily gay as fuck.
Honorarily
because
gay
I
as
watched
fuck.
all these, but I watched them like when this came out because I did enjoy this. I think this show as a like kind of game show parody makes some pretty funny jokes. I think it's written pretty well. What did you guys think of it?
I mean, I have no, like, strong opinion. Like, some of the jokes were funny. I thought the Matthew McConaughey bit, part of the first episode, like, I thought that was good. I guess it's weird, like, the choice of games that they did, I thought was a weird mix, and I just didn't think it had, like, a good flow. It was, like...
Yeah.
It was, like, 3 Quibi episodes packed into one. Like I would have liked, like the weird like show yourself bit where they're like with walking up and down the runway. I'm like, this is dumb. Like none of this is funny. Yeah, that one they do in
everything, and I don't like that either.
Like I'm like, no part of this is funny, so I don't know why this is here. But like the other ones where it's like, guess whose celebrity this is? Like I thought that shit was funny as hell, and like I definitely would have preferred more of that stuff. So,
yeah, and I think because it's a game show, it seems like they have to spend a lot of time explaining rules of games, and instead of that. You would want banter, but because it's 6 minutes, like it's like if you're gonna make a 30-minute game show, you have to spend at least like let's say like 3 minutes of the game show on explaining the rules of the game show in every episode. And like if you scale that down to a 6-minute show, you still need 3 minutes of rules. So it's like you're gonna get front loaded with that. So I could see this one working as like an actual network show. At one point, they're like rummaging through the items of gay history. Did you get to that one?
I like that one because
that was funny.
You need things with like jokes, like first ever vodka, like vodka soda from when Jesus turned water into wine, and then one vodka soda. I'm like, that's funny. I like this. You know, why isn't there more of this?
And the brick from Stonewall. Which, on its own isn't funny, but as they take it out of the box, they're like, should we have this? It's pretty like, I don't know. I think they did a good job too with the editing with that one, where the show doesn't linger on jokes, so it moves pretty quickly, and you're like, all right, this is like an entertaining little bit. But I agree. I think you could do one game for 6 minutes in the episode, and then that would be a fun thing.
Honestly, I don't need to know who wins in one episode, right? Because isn't that the nature of Quibi? It's like, at least with their movies, it's like, watch this and then get the next part of the narrative next time. Like, that might be the problem with too many of the shows. And, like, even, like, Dummy, right? Like, you could argue it's good in the sense that it's, like, a long narrative and you're just getting a bit each episode. Too many of them are...
Like some kind of TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Too
Tisso,
many...
as they're called. Not a Quibi. Tisso.
But, like, you're trying to fit too much into one 6-minute block. So maybe for game show, you do, like, 3 Quibis as one group of contestants.
They should have just taken 3 minutes from every Chrissy's court and given it to game show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you could. Well, I think the way you could do it, and we just hit our 6 minutes. So, final thought. I think the way you do it is make it 12 episodes long. Start with like 10 straights, and eliminate straights as the show goes, so that by the end you have a finale. With one person crowned honorary gay as fuck. But if you did it that way, then like you would start with games that are more conducive to large groups of people or whatever. And you would just get to enjoy the games in each episode. Because, if you watch every episode, they still explain all the games. Like, by episode 8, you're like, I know what all of these are, or I get it. Like, you just start and we'll go. But, I don't know. I like this one. Okay. DJ, you're next. What do you got? Got anything fun?
I guess we're working our way up the ladder, right? So it can only go up from here.
I think we have 3 left or 2?
4?
Really?
Well, I didn't remember. I missed the memo on Golden Arms, so like 50 States of Horror or whatever.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, we got a couple left. All right.
So that'll be you guys, because I just totally missed the mark.
All right, what do you got, DJ?
You know what? I really would like to talk about The Princess Bride, because
let's do it.
My favorite on the list.
6 minutes on the clock. Go.
So basically, I don't know. This was done. Shit, I think we were like in college when this was done. But there was a thing to make there was like a fan submission to make the Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
So you sent in like 30 seconds of you doing a Star Wars thing, and they stitched it all together. You could watch Star Wars done by like at home video style. So they took that concept, and I can't imagine that the person who came up with this didn't watch that. Like it's impossible for me to believe that they just came up with this without ever seeing the Star Wars thing. But anyway, and they had famous people make home videos of scenes of The Princess Bride, and I thought it was great, and I very much enjoyed it. I love me some Princess Bride. Fun fact, I don't know if we brought this up on the podcast before, but I hadn't seen it until like my mid-20s, because I was like ridiculously shamed for not have seen The Princess Bride, and I finally saw it, and I've seen it like 20 times since, because it's a great movie and I love it so much. So yeah, there's like some really fun, I don't know, to call them cameos, like a bunch of celebrities did them, but it's like, it was just fun to see, like, oh, Paul Rudd's doing a fun thing, oh look, there's Jack Black, and yeah, maybe it's like super pandery and like, basic, but again, for my 2-hand sandwich eating brain, that's what I need. So yeah. I very much enjoyed it.
You know what, we haven't even talked about this yet, but this is the first of all of these programs that benefits from the landscape versus portrait thing. You want this one in portrait mode. Yeah. Because I think part of the fun of this one is being like, who is that? Which one is this now? This is a different guy playing the Dread Pirate Roberts. Who is that? And then you kind of get it. But if you do it in landscape mode, because I guess all of these celebrities, because they filmed this during quarantine, I'm assuming all the celebrities did this on vertical phones, they have to figure out what the content for a horizontal phone is. And it's just their names and like, this character made famous by, Carrie Elwes.
Yes.
What'd you think, Diggins? You like this one?
It's cute. I enjoyed it. It's obviously an inferior version of Shrek Retold. So,
wow.
That's, I mean, I'm not going to begrudge them for not being as good as that masterpiece, but, same idea, worse execution. But,
damn.
It's cute. It's charming. It's not anything more than it needs to be, which is a bunch of people reenacting scenes from Princess Bride, like as low budget in their own homes as possible, which is not a bad concept. So, I would say this is on the positive end of Quibi stuff for me.
Yeah, I watched about half of this. I think I'm at the torture scene right now, so I've got a little bit further to go, but I'm enjoying this.
So, not as a spoiler for you, Nando, but I guess it's kind of a spoiler. It ends with...
I saw that.
Okay, so it ends with the person who's telling the story is Carl Reiner, and he's telling it to Rob Reiner, who's playing the sick kid in bed, and it's like mega sweet, because was this the last thing Carl Reiner did? Which is probably like weird to think about.
Rob Reiner directed it, right?
Yes.
Something? Yeah.
So like that was like cute as fuck. So
it's wild that they got that. Like that is how that ends in today. Like, yeah. Did you finish it, DJ?
I did.
I might tonight or tomorrow or something like that. Who is your favorite other person besides Carl Reiner? Favorite cameo?
I loved Patton Oswalt, and I just I like him.
good.
I like him in general, and that's like one of my favorite scenes from the movie. So it was
Diggins,
like
any guess at who
double
he is?
bias.
It was weird that they added Remy from Ratatouille into The Princess Bride, but
know,
I
right?
did think
He's
he did
the
a very
rodent-
good job.
He's a rodent of usual size.
That's true.
you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense, really. But I liked him. I thought Batista was fun.
Yeah, Batista was fun.
Jack Black was okay. I liked, obviously, what's his name a lot? The Mandalorian.
Oh, Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal and the other guy from Star Wars, Gabriel Luna, both as Inigo Montoya. Those were fun. I want to say Pedro Pascal did not get the line. I think Gabriel Luna got it,
Diego.
which is a bummer.
Yeah, I don't think Pedro Pascal did.
Pedro Pascal was like original boat Inigo Montoya. Who else was in there that was fun? The Office people showed up. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's his name was the best. Never mind. Reno
Shaq?
911. Yeah. He was so funny.
I said Shaq, but you meant
Oh no, yeah, I meant the sheriff Dangle.
yes, yeah.
As Prince Humperdinck. That was very fun.
Getting
And
his
he had this
double
little
Quibi.
kid. Yeah, exactly. He's a Quibi star.
Damn.
He is the Josh Gad of Quibi.
Oh, well,
Josh
Josh
Gad
Gad
also
wasn't
in
your
it.
favorite Princess Brider?
Was he in it? I don't remember.
He's the kid at one point.
Ah, damn it. No, I didn't.
Yeah, he was playing opposite James Corden.
Oh my God, was he?
No, I made that up.
Oh,
No, but that would have been amazing.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd say Diggins, this is a fun watch. I would say anybody that wants to see it, like, get the free trial of Quibi and watch it, and then you'll be like, that
do
was
it.
worth it.
Or just watch Shrek Retold.
Maybe you want to watch a
my
different
God.
movie than Shrek. I don't know. Does Shrek Retold have God, who is a fun one? Does Shrek Retold have Sam Rockwell in it? Because I don't think it does.
It doesn't have any celebrities, really.
That's a bummer. I liked Sam Rockwell a lot too, obviously, because he's my favorite. But he had a good run as what's his name, as Wesley.
Yes.
And they gave him and Leslie Blibb a really good scene. See, that's the other fun part. It's just fun to see. You see it. There's so many phases, and we just did the 6 minutes. There's so many phases you go through as a new scene starts, because first you're like, okay, what's this supposed to be? Like, that guy's holding a stick, so what's that in the real thing? And then also you're like, what scene is next? Oh, it's the scene where they sword fight. And then you're like, what actor is that? And, yeah, I don't know. I thought this was great. I think you could do this with a million movies. Like, Princess Bride is a really good one for this, but I think you could do this with Ghostbusters or something, and it would be pretty fun.
Another really good one, Charlize Theron as Andre the Giant. That was like a really, really good one.
I didn't get to her
I
yet.
didn't
Oh,
get
that's
that.
great.
That sounds
Oh
good.
yeah, it was pretty good.
But yeah, I think Patton Oswalt, he might be the best. I didn't get to any of the Billy Crystal, whatever, the Miracle Max. So.
Oh, can you guess who played Miracle Max?
Oh, God, James Corden,
Mel Brooks.
No. Can you imagine?
Ricky Gervais.
No.
Am I close? Steve
You had to
Carell?
think about that?
So Steve Carell. Now we're getting into the universe of what I'll say, like Judd Apatow suspects that might get you
okay.
toward
Jason
this person.
last name.
So Jason Segel played.
He's Andre the Giant.
Yeah, he's
one
Andre
of
the
them.
Giant.
So I guess then Paul Rudd.
So
Linda
Paul Rudd.
Cardellini.
Paul Rudd plays Wesley at the end.
Oh, cool. So wait, who else is there?
Linda
You guys are, like,
Cardellini.
floating there. No, not Linda Cardellini.
Missed opportunity.
Adam Sandler.
So he plays the dad early in the
Yeah,
movie.
in the
Oh
First
yeah, that's
episode.
right. He is in there earlier.
The grandpa.
Grandpa, sorry.
Who
He's
else
someone's
is
dad.
there?
You're gonna kick yourself.
Yeah, I am.
He stars.
James Franco.
No.
Wait, you
he-
said it's a Judd Apatow guy?
Yeah.
It's not Jason Segel.
And
Seth Rogen.
Bingo.
Oh, sure. Yep, that could be fun.
He does the impression you imagine Seth Rogen would do, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally fine.
Which is he does the Seth Rogen voice because he doesn't do impressions.
Exactly.
Well, and sometimes the pairings are just fun to see the people together, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
thing that's fun about it, because like fucking they got like Elijah Wood and what's his name are together for 10 seconds for no reason. Andy Serkis.
Oh yeah, that was great.
It's a really interesting. It's just I don't know. It's interesting. I think you could do a whole series of these And I would maybe be like, I think maybe the charm would wear off, but I could see Quibi popping one of these out every year or every maybe 6 months as a fun draw, because I did think it was pretty cute. And it was like, and you watch it and you're like, I'm sure, I mean, there's no way, like Gabriel Luna, his whole life has not wanted to be Inigo Montoya. Or Diego Luna, sorry. Who's the other one? There's another guy, showed up at the same time, Gabriel Garcia? God damn it. I don't know, I was getting confused. He's the one that plays Mozart in Mozart in the Jungle.
I'm trying to think. It's like Gael Garcia Bernal.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, so wait, Diego Luna. Yes. So there's no way Diego Luna didn't always want to be, like, that's just the best role. And you're like, oh, good. Everybody that ever wanted to be Wesley in Princess Bride gets to do it for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So they can say they did it, you know? Like, that's so much fun, and they genuinely seemed like they were enjoying it.
So what I find interesting is that there was a really unique opportunity where you have all of these actors at home because the quarantine and no movies are being made right now. So It's just kind of like a perfect opportunity to just like, they're all like, yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Whereas you might not have that opportunity, you know, I don't know, it's tough to say, but like, you know, in the future.
What, if you had to pick another movie to do like this, what would you do?
Oh, that's a good question.
It has to be something quotable and something kind of silly. Besides that, though, I think you can kind of get away with a lot of different things. Any guesses, Diggins?
I like your Ghostbusters suggestion. Not to just totally rip your suggestion.
Shrek?
Ghostbusters is okay.
Oh
Shrek?
my god,
no, that would be stupid. Of course not. I think you could do Star Wars, but they did that already too.
You can do Spaceballs, just do a different Mel Brooks vehicle.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like an iconic movie from the last 20 years, or from before the last 20 years. So pre-2000s.
Yeah.
That you could theoretically do in a low-budget way.
That everybody knows the words, or like everybody knows the lines to a lot of it. Like movies that people have seen a million times.
You need to know the scenes, because like otherwise you have no frame of reference. But the good thing about this movie is that like you kind of get like the gist of what's going on, which is good. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm having a really hard time with this. I'm sure.
I feel like there must be some Spielberg movie, like E.T. or something.
Oh my god, Jaws would be sick.
Yeah, Jaws could see, but Jaws, it's like the same 3 people the whole time. You want a little bit of variety. I'm looking up like lists of the highest grossing movies of all time, which isn't a great place to start, but I want to get a look. I could see maybe Toy Story.
Ooh, that could be fun. It's interesting with the animated movie because it's like, oh, get our live action version.
Yeah, and it's not the stupid live action version.
Like the edgy one.
Yeah. Like, because they'll, definitely make, because they made The Lion King, right? I'd watch The Lion King of this if, well, no, because the music would probably suck. But, like, something like that? You know what? I don't know if I'd do Indiana Jones, if you want to do a Spielberg movie. I'd do Jurassic Park. That's pretty iconic.
That's a good one.
I feel like I remember most of the scenes. I think you need a little bit more dialogue, though. I think that's what makes Princess Bride so fun. I feel like Jurassic Park, there's a lot of scenes where it's just people running away from stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to say Toy Story, Die Hard you could maybe do. But yeah, Princess Bride is like, it really is perfect for this. Like, it's just so on the nose. All right, Diggins, let's Quibi something else. What Quibis we got? You got anything to Quibi?
Well, let's see. We're mostly about things I'm not that interested in talking about. So let's pick one of them. Punked. Let's talk about Punked.
Okay. Punked. What'd you think of Punked? Let's start the Quibi clock.
I'm as uninterested in it now as I was when it first started.
Womp womp.
So, like, Punked is weird. Did you watch it when it was on TV at all?
I, saw an episode or two. It's really not my thing. It's too much of the thing I was saying before. Like, reality shows that are obviously doing pre-planned bits and pretending they're spontaneous.
Yeah, this one seems even more fake than original Punked did, which is always tough.
It's like they're all in on it. This is a surprise to no person.
The first episode, if I remember correctly, is that the one with the gorilla?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, there's no fucking way.
Yeah,
they did not think that was a real gorilla.
Nobody's even, they don't even have anyone saying, why is there a gorilla in the back of this random office building? The question never even comes up because they fucking know it's going to happen, obviously.
And I would say but I think this is the one that fits format-wise the best into Quibi. It's short. 6 minutes is exactly as much as you need for it. And you get different stars to promote their thing every episode. And you can use stars that would never want to be involved with Quibi.
Yeah.
I think that's why this should have been the big one. Like, and it's just not that interesting because Punk'd isn't that great. But also, like, yeah, the stunts are just so weird. Like, I don't know, man. It just didn't seem even kind of real at all. And Punk'd always had that problem. But did you like Chance the Rapper in it?
I guess he's fine.
Exactly.
His whole thing is just being like, oh man, we're gonna get him so bad. And then at the end, oh, we got you so bad. Like, it didn't feel like I was getting any Chance the Rapper personality in there.
Do you think part of the like search criteria to replace what's his name? Ashton Kutcher was like, we need someone with a famous hat, someone who looks good in a cap, because Punk pioneered the trucker hat as an American staple, and they were like, well, he loves hats, so let's give it to him.
Kids will love this one.
I don't. I mean, this one's boring. It really is, and it should be good. But also I think Punk'd as a brand, I don't know, it's never my thing. But I think maybe with simpler punkings, it could be better. I watched one recently where they like pretend a girl's home is being destroyed.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we have to fumigate, and there's so many rats in here, and they just keep bringing rats out of the house and throwing her belongings into the trash.
Oh, my God.
And it's almost kind of funny. The funniest part of it, more than the gorilla one, I'm sure, is just how cruel that the Punk'd is. Like, that kind of makes it fun to watch, because it's like, that's fucking weird that you guys are doing this to this kid. But, yeah, it's not a good show.
There was one old one I remember enjoying because they were punking Neil Patrick Harris, and it was like he had gone off for a hike or like into a national park or something, and they were pretending a bear was like destroying his car. But it was funny.
Oh.
It was funny because he wasn't even pretending to play along. Like,
really?
he was sitting there like completely unconcerned, like, this is a real bear of a problem.
Oh my God.
Like,
That's funny.
Like you could tell he was like, oh yeah, he knows this is happening. He knows it's fake, and he doesn't give a shit.
Like, yeah, it's
phenomenal.
It's a dumb show. It should have been great for Quibi, but it's just too dumb of a show. And I think with that, we can cede the next 2 minutes of Quibi time to me pitching you guys other movies we could do, because I looked at a list. Here are some. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
I think you might do that.
Good. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Back to the Future. I think you can do
another
Back to the
great
Future.
choice.
You know what?
Yeah.
Newer movie that you could totally do?
What?
Mean Girls.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah,
that would be
that'd be a
good
lot
one.
of fun. That'd be a whole lot of fun. What's the other one? I had another one here. Oh, I guess Toy Story was also on this list. I'm looking at like a list of great movies. But I think they have to be like, I don't think you could do like Monty Python. I think they have to be a little bit serious.
It has to be a movie that people quote all the time. It's not just that it's good; it's that people like to quote it.
Exactly. So yeah, I think you do one of those. That's your free. That one's for free, Quibi. Mostly because it's probably gonna be pretty hard for us to sue you guys for taking our idea of you guys making a movie that already existed.
Yeah,
but still a pretty solid idea.
Plus, you can make these for like $10, which is approximately your budget now.
Right, and what they said, they said they donated $1 million to Jose Andreas' World Central Kitchen, I think. Is that right?
Something like that.
You may have gotten the name wrong, but yes.
What's his name? God damn it.
I don't think it's Jose Andreas.
It's Andreas.
It is.
Sure.
I gotta Google World Central Money Plane.
Jose Andreas. I was right.
Oh, man.
Damn.
I was wrong.
Get some.
Boom.
DJ got owned.
He
DJ's
also plays like Humperdinck at one point. He's in the thing. And I remember that was the one I watched last week. Oh, who's the guy that does the marriage bit? You know what? Don't tell me. I'm going to find it. I'll find it.
I can't even remember, to be honest with you.
Really? Not the priest who's like, marriage. That feels like that's a slam dunk. Anyway, it's fine.
It's escaping.
We're resetting. 6 minutes on the clock. There's no way it'll take that long because we're down to the stupid ones. I'm going to do... How many are left? Only one? Is it Blackballed? Right? I think we did it. Game Show, First Escort, Princess Bride,
and
Pong,
50
States Toys.
50 States of Horror. Don't forget about 50 States of Horror.
So I guess here, DJ, you'll do Blackballed. We'll do Blackballed now, and then we'll do the other one next because that's the most interesting one. What do you think about Blackballed?
I will crush the Quibi timer on this one. So it is a documentary on the Donald Sterling incident of 2014 with the LA Clippers, where a really racist tape came out of him just being a racist a-hole. As rich people often, well, I should not say that, but as
no, you should say it.
All right, fine.
Yeah. I mean, the things he said are so weird. I think that if I'm watching the whole documentary, that's going to be the most interesting part.
So
he told his wife she could have sex with the black
no,
people.
not
she
even
just
wife,
couldn't be in pictures
girlfriend.
with them or
Yeah.
girlfriend, right? Like it's such a. I don't even understand that racism. Like what are you supporting and not supporting in that group?
It's very inconsistent.
It's so inconsistent.
So anyway, it's about that, right? It's a sports documentary style. Now, and this come up a billion times, so I won't belabor the point, but every episode of a documentary usually focuses on some theme. The Michael Jordan documentary did this really well. The OJ documentary does this really well, where you take a theme and you focus on it, and that kind of frames how you tell this story. The problem with the Quibi episodes is that because the episodes are so short, when you're framing your whatever, like your episode and with the arc, everything is so surface level, you're not getting anything that's too deep. Now, I don't know if I had a weird bias, is that I'm a good old sports fan, so I knew a lot of this stuff. I don't know, Diggins, if you can comment. I don't know how much knowledge you had prior, but maybe some of this information was new to you. But I was just kind of like with a lot of this stuff, old hat, and I'm sorry, but yeah, that's kind of where I was at with this one, unfortunately.
No, I'm with you. It's weird that we lived through this one. I'm watching them talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's not quite as fun.
But there's things you could do with this documentary that is interesting, and talking about like the history of the Clippers and racial relations and like every single thing.
Yeah.
But like Quibi can't get that deep. Another interesting point, I believe, and I'll find this article so I'm not a liar again, but I believe Quibi originally said it was going to get Donald Sterling for the documentary, and they didn't. So,
oh really?
Womp womp. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even as a non-sports boy, I remember this Donald Sterling thing happening. And also, like, the first episode, which is all that I watched, was just saying stuff like, when Obama was elected, some people thought racism was over.
Yeah.
But racism wasn't over. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand that.
Like, when they tell the whole story, you're kind of like, it's like they were going to protest. It would have been crazy. And I'm like, I guess it would. That's... What more could happen? Like, I think if you did something like McMillions with this or something, where the story itself is so unusual,
right,
that you kind of like, you'll take 6 minutes to just talk about one weird guy in it. That's kind of fun, but it's like such a ABCD story that we all live through.
Also, they were kind of like making a thing of being like, who makes the game? Is it the owners or the players? And I'm like, the players. The owners contribute literally nothing. How is this a question?
Yeah.
I know that's a thing he said, so we're trying to like be dramatic about it, but he's wrong. It's the players. End of discussion.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a documentary subject, it does seem like one where it's just like, I guess you can make it about it. I don't know. Go for it.
I mean, if you had Donald Sterling, that would be fucking amazing. Like, if you could get him in the documentary and have him, like, sit down Anderson Cooper style and talk all that crazy, like, that would be fucking bananas.
Just have him sit down and on a hot mic admit that he fucked all those black people.
Right? Like...
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this thing where I saw that, like, maybe if I find an old article that's like, and Donald Sterling will be in the documentary. All right, keep going, and I'll see if I can find this.
All right, last one. 50 States of Horror. Diggins, can you explain this one?
Sure. So this
is a real tricky one. I'm gonna put 7 minutes on the clock for this one.
That's fair. Well, we watched 3 episodes of this one.
Yeah, that's true. You know what?
Technically,
I'm gonna put 8.
I mean, really, we watched 1 episode, but technically, we watched 3.
Yeah. Quibnically, we watched 3.
50 States of Horror as a project is supposed to be like a horror anthology where every quote-unquote episode is taking a look at some kind of bit of folklore or mythology from each state in America. The first episode, quote-unquote, which is the 3 episodes... Oh, fucking Quibi is bad. It's just a normal episode of television that they split into 3 episodes for no reason.
Yeah.
Is about, you may have heard of this because we discussed it at length before on this podcast, The Golden Arm, which is a real folktale from the state, from the Midwest in general. But they chose
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a real folktale. They didn't make up this story. Well, they made up a lot of details, but they didn't make up the general arc of it.
Wow, that changes everything I think about this. Wow. Okay, go on. Sorry.
So it's about a woman who has a golden prosthetic for an arm that she loves so much that she won't take it off even though it kills her. And then her husband, who needs money to pay off all his debts, steals her golden arm from her grave, which makes her Zambambo come back from the dead and kill him.
How does she get a golden arm, Diggins? Why would she even need one?
In the greatest scene in Quibi-matic history,
Yeah.
she's her husband's a lumberjack, and she's helping him cut down a tree with like a rope pulley system, which is how they actually do it. But it gets caught in like a stick, and so the tree accidentally gets pulled towards her instead of away from both of them. And she somehow maneuvers herself such that the tree only lands on her right arm in a spray of blood and gore. And then her husband, who doesn't think, what if I picked up the tree a little and then she moved her arm to try to get it out, is like, well, there's no way to get this arm out from under this tree. I'll just have to cut it off with an axe.
I mean, yeah, it's so funny, that scene.
It's here's the thing. I actually kind of love this.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing on Quibi.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it's like, I was part of the wave of people making fun of it when those clips went up on Twitter, because it is insane and ridiculous. But actually watching it, I'm pretty sure it was meant to be funny.
Yes. I agree. Well, do you know who produced it? Did we say this? It was
produced, written, or co-written and directed by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, so he knows.
So, yeah, this is his thing. He does horror comedies. And what essentially convinced me it was all intentional is that I actually felt in the last episode, like, it was still pretty cheesy, but when they were going for the full-on horror, it was pretty decent horror.
Yeah.
Like, I actually felt tense in that scene, even though it was, again, kind of silly.
Yeah, how about the actors?
Oh, that man, the man playing the husband doesn't know how to not look like a serial killer.
And he doesn't know how to not look like a serial killer, and he's just so, like, it's so funny because Rachel Brosnahan, aka Marvelous Miss Maisel, who is the Golden Arm recipient, is like playing it like Beauty and the Beast or something, like a storybook kind of. Oh, I lived the perfect life until I lost my golden arm, or until I got my golden arm, and he is playing it like he is waiting for a bus. Just so upset that he has to do any golden arming whatsoever. It's so funny. It's like I almost was convinced they got a real lumberjack to do it, just for like the sake of realism.
Even in like the idyllic early scenes where it's like they were so in love, they had the perfect marriage. He's just like standing there like completely blank-faced, being like, I love you.
So I actually watched the second episode, which means
the Ball of Twine?
4, 5, and 6. Yes, the Ball of Twine. Did you watch that?
I didn't know.
It's kind of the same. I think I got the same amount of enjoyment from it, but it wasn't quite as extremely strange. There's no way. Like, I know there is a ball of twine, but is there lore behind it that it eats you or whatever?
I
don't even,
idea.
And I don't want to spoil it, but because I'm not even sure what the ball of twine was up to when you really get down to it. But yeah, it's so that one stars Ming-Na Wen, Mulan's own original Mulan, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that, Mandalorian. She's in it all, and she's like a mom whose daughter gets like lost around the ball of twine, and it is revealed that the ball of twine is controlling the whole town or something. It's pretty strange, but yeah, I think this is kind of fun. I feel bad for DJ. You should watch this, DJ.
I will watch this. It seems like a hoot.
At least, you know what's good about the first one, and it really feels like it's just split into 3 commercial breaks. It ends on a pretty big cliffhanger, like episode to episode, because the first episode ends with the tree thing, her whole arm getting crushed. So like that's a pretty good place to end it. And then I'm pretty sure the second one just ends with her dying, and then the third one is like, oh, and then we were poor.
It ends with him resolving to go dig up her body and steal the golden arm. The second one.
Oh, and I didn't think we talked about this. the interview, it's framed as if this is a real thing that happened in a town, and we went to interview the survivors of it, which is the weirdest part for me.
Except we really only talked to the one guy.
Yes, but I mean, in future ones, they do that too. Like, it's like, oh, I remember when I remember they were the toast of the town. She had her golden arm, but then things got south, and like, it's so strange. This should be on Shudder, though. If we're talking about streaming services, it's not like there's not already a goofy horror service.
Maybe it'll make the migration over to there when Quibi inevitably fails.
So that's the weird thing about Quibi. Part of it, I mean, there's so much shittiness about Quibi. We didn't even talk about it seems like part of Quibi is it's not a show, so we don't have to pay you the standard union rate for making a show. We pay you the standard union rate for making a quick bite, which is less. But also, the creators, from what I understand, if not all, most, own these IPs. So when this fails, we'll get these things. Like, I think new episodes of Reno 911 will appear on the internet somewhere or something.
Right.
So, like, I can almost, like, there's no downside to making a Quibi. Because, yeah, you just all race your cars around, and maybe it sucks, but also, like, you just put it on YouTube and make money from it after that, too. The ownership structure behind Quibi is very strange. But
so I have a question.
Yeah?
Do we think that MoviePass was a colossal failure?
It was?
It depends on your perspective.
Imagine if MoviePass was crushing it, and then the pandemic happened and killed
Oh.
MoviePass.
Yeah, that would have
Why
been
hasn't
like
MoviePass been like, I think you wouldn't have believed how good of a plan we had, but shucks, guys.
Is there going to be a, taker of the throne who's going to, figure this out, but actually good?
Figure what out?
The Quibi premise.
Well, that's the $1 million question is, what is the Quibi premise? Or, like, what about Quibi is inherent to Quibi? And the answer is nothing. Because, like, YouTube TV exists, and YouTube is paying YouTube people, and also just, like, people, like, that are from, like, the, entertainment industry to make entertainment stuff. So that exists, and that is in short and long form. I guess the only thing you could explain, the only, like, individual selling point of Quibi is that no one has done before is the weird flippy thing, where you flip, but everyone watches it one way or the other, and it doesn't matter. Like, I watched most of it upright, which is mostly out of curiosity. In vertical mode. I watched the movie in horizontal because I was like, I could only take so much. But that's the only thing that I think no one has done before. Everything else is already all the other apps.
Like, my thing again is your streaming service doesn't need gimmicks. It just needs things people want to watch. That's it. End of story.
Well, and that's the crazy thing, though. Like, I think if they thought the things people want to watch through, they had all the ingredients, like some weird Idris Elba car show, like the thing with, so like it's almost like Saturday Night Live, right? There's a lot of good sketch comedians out there that just make funny sketch comedy online, right? And it's like, that's better than SNL. Most of it is, but there's a lot of it that's like, you're like, why isn't SNL making that? And then you go a step further and you're like, why does SNL even exist? And it's like, well, they have budget and they have stars. So if you want to make a funny sketch, and you just want to make a funny sketch, you can do that for anybody. But if you want to make a funny sketch with, Tom Cruise in it or Tom Hanks or whatever, you're going to SNL. So that would be what Quibi would have, is like, we have all the stars, and you can't make that anywhere else but here. But like, they can't do that. Like they didn't use the stars correctly.
Right.
Like, it's so weird.
Say the stars didn't align on this one.
The stars did not align. There was a fault in their stars, a big one.
Oh my god!
And it led to the disaster that was Quibi. But like I said, I think you could make this. The Idris Elba races him, and the real race car driver drives a silly car. Like there's the real life size versions of toys, but also like you were saying, DJ, like weird ones, like a washing machine. There's things that this is like. You could cross over Nitro Circus and Mythbusters into a show, and it's fun. But they just made bad shows, and it's not like they bought pre-made bad shows. They made these.
Yeah, like that's what I was wondering with the documentary Blackballed. Like, did the director did they tell him like, all right, like did he just shoot a documentary and Quibi like Quibied it up in the editing process, or did he make a documentary with like, all right, I gotta just hit the high points, no deep dive?
I imagine the first thing, or I imagine the second thing. I guess the documentary you could have bought from somewhere, but the thing with all of the other content is it has to be filmed in a ridiculous way with what I assume is a gigantic camera from very far away, so that you can watch it in horizontal and vertical mode. So like this content would not, you couldn't just adapt any content onto Quibi unless you do it like Princess Bride, where you just use the extra space as like a little, information tab.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe with the documentary they were just like, you're selling this documentary, we're going to buy it. But like usually you start with good stuff, and then like Netflix, you buy shitty movies so you have movies. But with this, they started with the shitty stuff.
It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off.
I mean, I can't. There's got to be some producer Z-level scheme in here that we don't know about. Something's happening behind the scenes. Max Bialystock, like Jeffrey Katzenberg, is gonna take his money to Mexico or however that movie's supposed to end, or play.
It does feel like your Christoph Waltzes, your Chrissy Teigens, and your Anna Kendricks, and your Travis Pastranas, and Idris Elbas. It seems like they stole money from the guy whose name we just said.
Jeffrey Katzenberg, but it wasn't even his money. I'm sure it was VC money or something.
True. But someone's money got stolen.
Listen,
like it was super clear.
There's nothing in this world I respect more than stealing VC money.
Yeah.
Because like that's like so go back to the Hamilton example, right? Like let's say they went to Lin-Manuel and they're like, we'll give you $1 trillion for Hamilton. Would they be like, well, what? Not Hamilton, but what if I write a new funky little Quibi style rap for you guys? And they're like, all right, sure, we'll take it. Mm-hmm. Like you said with Idris Elba, all right, Idris Elba, we'll give you $1 million. What do you want to do? I want to race NASCAR drivers. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It is strange, too, that they did not adapt any comic stuff, or they couldn't find any licenses, because that's the flagship programming for all of these streaming services is like The Boys or Umbrella Academy. I think both of those are the highest watched thing, at least at the time of their release on their respective networks. I'm sure Falcon and Winter Soldier will be the most watched Disney Plus thing. So I'm surprised that they didn't try to grab like Spawn or something and make that, because I think that would have gotten people that are like me that watch all of it to just be like, I guess I have to watch Quibi now, like just for this one. But then it's the content's so good you watch it. But like also comic books it's already a serialized format. Like it's what it's for. It's so weird. Quibi. But next week, what are we gonna do?
So we're gonna do The Most Dangerous Game, right?
Quibi's original movie, which is, I guess, as close as they got to a like superhero show kind of. This is our big ticket item. The kids love one of the Hemsworths. Any Hemsworth, it doesn't even matter.
The kids love Larry Hemsworth.
And Christoph Waltz loves some Christoph Waltz. I
actually do love Christoph Waltz. He makes so many bad choices, but I love him anyway.
Yeah,
you're not the kids. That's the problem.
You're right. I'm not the dang millennials who are always on their dang phones.
Yeah. Listen, I watched this movie already.
Literally,
it's kind of fun. I think we'll like it.
So I don't think millennials are the kids anymore. Pretty sure Gen Z is now the kids. Right.
The point of me talking about the dang millennials is to be out of touch. That's the joke.
Right. Mm-hmm. Don't explain the joke, Diggins.
Well, you didn't get it, so I had to.
Damn it.
But anyway, next week we're watching The Most Deadliest Game, which, oh my god, they should have called it that. Like, I'm telling you, and we'll watch it, you'll watch it, and you'll come to this conclusion, I'm sure, as well. There are moments where it starts to kind of drift into being a parody of itself, and it's pretty good. And I think if this was the most dangerous game, or the most dangerousest game, and all of the bad guys were, like, even more silly in some way, this would have worked. I think it kind of works. Like, I think you'd watch it and be like, that's fine. But we're going to do that, which is on Quibi. So if you get a 2-week trial, or if you get a trial and you want to watch any of these things we already talked about, also go ahead and watch that. And you have 2 weeks to watch it before you have to pay for it.
And this is very important. When you sign up for the trial, you could sign up for the ad-free version. They don't stop you from doing that. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So sign up. I had no
maybe.
commercials.
I think my trial is different than yours, so that
Well,
must
you had
be
the
it.
3-month magic
Yeah.
one. You're still on the hangers-on of the people who haven't jumped ship yet.
I know, my subscription's probably going to end in like a day. I should probably do that before I give them $5.
So everyone sign up for the ad-free one, and then set a calendar reminder, whatever you need to do to cancel it right before the 2 weeks.
Unless you fall in love with Quibi, you know? Maybe it's for you.
Unless you're one of the 7 people on Earth who loves Quibi.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is like I feel bad. There were those 2 podcasters who made like the podcast dedicated to Quibi shows, and then Quibi like sued them. So like, if you love Quibi, Quibi probably hates you.
That's
for
true.
whatever reason.
We're too cool for Quibi. We wouldn't even like it, even if it was cool.
If they gave me free Quibi to talk about, I would do it. Like, I would do a Quibi podcast if I got free Quibi.
I don't know. They'd have to give me a little bit more than free Quibi.
Also,
oh, really? You wouldn't do it for free Quibi?
Also,
No, yeah,
they wouldn't do it because we would say bad things about Quibi.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no such thing as bad press.
Hypothetically, if they made good shows, if they wanted to be like, we're going to put our money where our mouth is, they'd still have to give me something besides Quibi for it. They'd have to give me, like, I don't know, dollars.
Some amount of dollars.
Yeah, some sort of monies. Not that I would only do it for that reason, but like I'm not going to review, Subway sandwiches if I get a free Subway sandwich. There needs to be something more on the line because I don't like Subway sandwiches.
I guess I'm that basic. And again, if your thing involves like 3 hands, get out of here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of
activities,
sandwiches,
minimal multitasking. It's very important.
all right. Do you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah, we should.
I
do
would
it.
love that.
Let's do it. All right, you guys got anything to recommend to the fine people?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Let's hear
So, I have another Netflix show to rec, but this one's actually recent. So, I'm like on the up and up with this one. So, this is a new trigger anime that is on Netflix called
What?
BNA. Stands for Brand New Animal. And the premise of the show is there are 2 kinds of people. You have humans like us, and then you have human-animal hybrids known as beastkin. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. DJ, is this some weird furry show that's like all weird and like made for furries? Kinda. But because it's a trigger anime, the
What
action...
does that mean?
Oh, they're an
Trigger's
anime
a studio.
development studio. They did Kill la Kill.
Oh, so like they
Lagann?
make porno animes.
Gurren
Is that what this is?
Lagann. Again, kinda. Gurren Lagann, thank you, Diggins. I think they did Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls
In a dungeon.
in a dungeon, yeah. I love like all their animes because again, their action scenes are fucking awesome. So, yeah, there's 2 kinds of people. There's beastkin and humans, and the humans don't like the beastkin. So, like, when you're a beastkin, you have your human form, like, you look like a regular person, but you can turn into your anima form, which is like a chicken or a pig or a raccoon or a wolf. And I know this sounds like mad silly, but I'm telling you, if you like good fighting scenes and you don't mind like the animal furry stuff, and I'm not doing any kind of kink shaming, like you're into what you're into, that's totally cool. I just know that's not everyone's bag, but it shouldn't scare you. It's like it's a good anime.
Would you say that it is B-stars for people who are afraid of being 100% horny?
Listen,
What is this?
B-stars is no.
All I know about furries is what I know from that one video where the guy from All Gas No Brakes goes to a furry convention, and it has led me to believe furries are quite strange.
Here's
I
what I
don't
would say.
know what Eddie Izzard would call executive furries. People that go to work and go to the job and come home and put on their furry outfits. I don't know any of them.
Actually,
I'm
a
sure they
large
exist.
percentage of them are exactly
There must
that.
be, right? And is it? I don't know. It's fine. But anyway,
So-
it seems like there's a whole subgenre out there of furry adjacent anime, ranging from straight up pornos to this kind of maybe it's kind of a porno.
All right, listen. So,
Hey, listen,
B-stars
I've heard-
is
I've heard if you're okay with how horny it is, B-stars is really good, actually.
but if it weirds you out, you have to stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
So,
Listen, if you aren't prepared for a wolf man to contemplate how he both wants to fuck and eat his rabbit girlfriend, then don't watch Beastars. If you're okay with that, apparently it's really good.
Oh my
Now,
god.
now I'm wrecking something different. Now, to put a Jason Diggins' point, if you are okay watching a wolf-human hybrid beat the shit out of a bunch of other animal hybrids and then turn back into a regular person, and then a lot of the show is just like regular people walking around, then this show is for you, because that's why I like it. So
You keep telling yourself that, DJ.
listen,
It's fine.
all right,
I will kink shame you for whatever this
Fine.
is. I don't even care about furry stuff.
Nando, I understand that this anime is not for you. Diggins and others out there, give it a shot. Give it a chance. And I think it might surprise you on how good it is. And look, if you like other Trigger animes, you will like this anime. So,
Cool. What was it called? I already forgot.
BNA.
BNA.
For
Is that
some
like
of you...
B, letter N, letter A?
Correct.
Does it stand for something?
So it stands for Brand New Animal.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's like DNA, BNA. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
For some of you out there, it's already at the top of your suggestion thing in Netflix. Like, the algorithm has already placed it for you. For others, you will have to search it, and it will probably fuck up your algorithm, and then you'll get recommended Beastars, and stay away from that. But yeah.
Pretty sure Netflix gave people the option to, like, delete their Netflix histories or something this week, too.
No, wait, did they? Because I thought Netflix's whole thing was like, we are going to find everything about curtailing to what you watch and then feed you stuff
it's that you can delete from your continue watching list.
Yes, that you can do.
I believe specifically so you can watch the 365 days porno thing and then not like no one knows you watched it.
The problem is Netflix does not forget. They know. Once you've clicked play, that's it. You're there.
Well, great stuff, DJ. Diggins, you got anything to recommend to the fine people?
Yeah, so there's this furry pornography I have.
No.
Something new. We need something new.
I'm joking. Again, if Beastars is your thing, I've heard it's really great. I'm not trying to kink shame you.
It's too horny. It's too
I'll kink
horny.
shame you. I will kink shame that specifically. How about that? Yeah, I want arguments for and against. This is going to be Chrissy's court. We'll settle this one. We'll settle it in Chrissy's court.
Can you imagine? Oh my god.
So this aspect of it is going to be gone by the time you all hear this, but the general recommendation will still be accurate.
Well, I'm excited for this.
On Mac OS, I think Catalina is the current one. They have just released all of or a large portion of the old, what's his name? The guy who runs Double Fine. Tim Schafer?
I don't know. Who's that?
Yes.
He's a game designer. All of his old adventure games. So that's games like Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, the one he did off a Kickstarter a few years back, Broken Age. But they're all free this weekend also. They've just been released and they're free to download this weekend, which will not be true by the time you listen to this, so sorry. But the one that they're releasing that I want to talk about, because it's a great game and you should totally play it, and this is a good opportunity to do so, is Grim Fandango.
Oh, such a good game.
Grim Fandango is an adventure game that's kind of... The premise is that you are a Grim Reaper, which in this world is just like a job for people who live in the afterlife, which is it's like a vaguely like Mexican mythology based afterlife. Like all the characters are based on like what do you call those? The like Mexican candy skulls.
Like sugar skulls?
Yeah, but there's a Spanish name for it.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But they're all like based on that. They're all skeleton people based on that kind of design. And you uncover a conspiracy of people like all the tickets that give you a direct train ride to heaven, basically. Are like being stolen by like corrupt executives who run the whole Grim Reaper business and sold to people instead of being given to like the actual good-hearted people who deserve them.
Oh.
And all those good-hearted people are instead being forced to take an arduous 4-year journey on foot to get there. So you are like end up on that journey yourself on the run, trying to like uncover this conspiracy and help and help this one person who you found didn't get her ticket because of this whole thing. So you're like trying to track her down and let her know what happened. While at the same time, the executives are sending people after you to try to double kill you, I guess, because you know everything. It's very influenced by like film noirs. Like the second section of the game, it's broken up into 4 sections, is very, very heavily based on Casablanca. It's a really, really charming, incredibly written game. Like all the little incidental text and dialogue that you can get is like really funny. If you like old school adventure games, where you have to solve sometimes esoteric puzzles based on like objects you can pick up and the things you find in the environment. It's one of the best examples of that whole genre, and I can't recommend it enough. So there's a remastered version that just came out on Mac. It's already been available on PC through Steam and whatnot. So it's Grim Fandango remastered. If you've never played it, can't recommend it enough.
Wow, okay. I've heard of this. But I've never played it. But it seems cool. It's pretty old. What was it, 90s? 2000s?
Yeah, it was made in the 90s.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. I'm going to recommend... so I'm keeping up on Doom Patrol, which is still great. If anyone didn't hear last week, I recommended that. And 2 new episodes have come out since then. I think the first one's probably called Sex Patrol. And then the second one is called Finger Patrol. Both of those are pretty funny. 2 of the better episodes of the whole series, so those are great for all kinds of reasons. But I want to rec. So this weekend, or like last weekend, I watched a thing. I've been wanting to watch it for a while, but I just have not been able to because of circumstances. Some people are probably aware of it. It's a period thing. It stars actors you may not expect in roles, and it's like, oh, they're, And you know what? They talk normally, like even though they're supposed to be in like stuffy whatever 1700s, 1800s, time period, and you're like, oh, but they're making this relatable to me in my current day. So of course I'm talking about The Personal History of David Copperfield by Armando Iannucci. Just kidding, it's not Hamilton. No, I didn't think Hamilton. I thought Hamilton was fine. But no, I did watch this. This is the new Iannucci, like the dude that made Veep and
I didn't realize
Death
that
of
came
Stalin.
out.
So it did in England. It came out in England last year, and I got it in some way. And anyone can get it in ways.
You flew to England and
that's exactly
watched it there.
I did, and I did it in some sort of private, safe, mask-full plane or boat. Maybe I took a boat.
You chartered a private
I took a
jet.
plane. It was an expensive plane. One may even call it the moneyest of planes, but no, it is a. It's a. If for people that don't know, Personal History of David Copperfield, it's a old Dickens book. It's a very Dickensy Dickens book. It seems like it really knocks all the boxes of this is what a Charles Dickens story is about. It's very funny because of the cast and because of the way that Iannucci. It seems like he doesn't let everybody riff necessarily, but like with Death of Stalin, the performances feel very personal, and there's specific actors who you'll show up and you'll be like, oh, this guy, who are really, really something, and like really, really, really great. I mean, I'll not like spoil it, but Pierre Capaldi's great in it. Like so funny, and Hugh Lowry shows up, also really good. But there's a lot of other people that just pop in small roles. This is not a story I knew, and for people like. If you think like, the Orphan one, it's kind of like that a little bit. It seems like it really does have a lot of the staples of a Charles Dickens story. Have you ever read this one? Anybody? David Copperfield?
I've never read that one specifically, no.
Okay. Yeah, it's like he's a little orphan boy, and then also he goes to the high society, and then also he goes into like being a student. I don't know. It's great though. And Dev Patel plays David Copperfield himself, and he's wonderful. It's a joy to watch, and I think anybody would like it. So I definitely recommend that. I did watch Hamilton. Hamilton's good. It's good.
I also watched Hamilton. I felt
Yeah.
that it would be the least necessary wreck of all time.
Yeah. And it doesn't. You know what? To be fair to this play that everyone's already talked to death, I expected, because it is a play musical thing, that it would fall apart in the second act, and it doesn't necessarily at the end. It kind of in the end, I would say it takes what is like a diversion from the rest of the story a little bit. I don't want to say changes gears, but the story shifts focus a little bit. But for the most part, the second act really is pretty strong, which is nice, because you think other musicals, and obviously Hamilton's Hamilton, but Fiddler on the Roof or something, you're like, oh, first act fun, second act, sad. Yeah, and this isn't like that. I think everyone in it is great, and the same level of great, and no one is not as good as anyone else. I'm sure if they all auditioned for that show, they would be in it.
Yep.
And that's all I have to say about that. I want to say that's it. I want to say I watched a lot of stuff this week, but nothing's jumping out at me. I finished The Floor is Lava. I finished Doom Patrol. I did all this Quibiing, which, that's a lot of stuff. That takes some time. I'm sure next week I'll have something that I forgot to recommend, but for now, I'd say that stuff's pretty solid. Anything to plug?
Nope.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Should we watch any Spaces?
We should continue watching Spaces. In fact, by the time this comes out, perhaps that space will
that's
already
a good point.
necessitate eyeballs, but I don't want to jump the gun.
I would say, yeah. I mean, you don't want to jump the gun, and also you don't want to. This could take years. Sometimes I sit on these for way too long, so it may be old news. But I would say for me, definitely. I have a Twitter, which I'm great at. I'm so funny on Twitter, but I'm also trying to, because I want to become, I want to stay relevant. I'm trying to become funny on TikTok, so follow me on TikTok if you have TikTok. So far, I've just been showing weird edits from the Artemis Fowl movie, but I find them fascinating, and that's the only place you can put.
That's a gold mine of content right there. You could spend your whole TikTok career just doing that.
It's something. People love it. So that's pretty good. It's a good thing. Everyone should follow me. It's kind of all I got, though. I don't know. Besides that, I guess next week we'll be looking at The Most Dangerousest Game.
Yay!
Liam Hemsworth, the guy who we said before. Christoph Waltz, stuntmen, I'm guessing. Stuntmen that can act.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I like him. You'll know which ones I like and which ones I don't like. Once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that one. He likes that one. Because they're pretty funny. But besides that, listen, I've been at Nando View Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woo!
Bye. We love you.